bit, but hello YouTube, welcome to Geekery Abides. We haven't hit the intro yet, but episode 72, and yeah, we were just riffing on Lord of the Rings, not realizing you guys couldn't hear us. So yeah, let's
it's 43 to 42 in in the book.
I was saying that 72.
I'm like,
is that what Gimli says? Is
No,
72?
it's 42.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I watched this.
Gimli gets
so.
43, by the way.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and hit the intro. That's the wrong pedal I almost pushed. And then we can get started to the full podcast side.
He who is ashamed of his geekery has forgotten the face of Stan Lee.
This is the podcast, Geekery Abides.
All right, fixing the old camera there while the intro was going.
I just noticed Tad was cockeyed.
I would have been that way the whole last episode, too.
I know, I didn't even notice it.
I was askew.
You were askew.
Yeah, welcome to Geekery Abides. With that
wearing
tangent,
a shirt like that makes sense.
With that tangent aside, we're here. Geekery Abides, episode 72, where the main topic we have on store is Peacemaker season 2, as well as a look ahead for the DCU taking place. You know, as we now go. Now I feel like I'm off center a little bit too. Oh man, what is going on? We're in a shambles here. But that's the main topic. But yeah, I am Tad, and with me as always is Peter.
Hello.
Episode 72. Let's go ahead and dive on in. Of course, on the YouTube side, if you're here listening or if you're watching on YouTube, if you could, of course, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, all that kind of fun stuff that you have to say, or YouTube will destroy you. Also, we now have shorts going on, and also we have an Instagram. We've actually never had an Instagram on Geekery Abides until very recently. So we decided to start doing short form content along with our normal podcast stuff, and as part of that, Geekery Abides now has a Instagram. So if you want to look us up on Instagram, you can find us over there, and you'll get mostly the shorts. I actually don't know. I haven't really thought much about any other kind of posts, but you'll at least see our short content there. And then of course, you find us on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of stuff, all under Geekery Abides. And then of course, if you want to contact the show, you can do that in a number of ways. Well, actually, the one main way is outside of being in the chat, live streaming with us here, or being in the live stream chat, you can email us, either Peter at geekeryabides.com or Tad, T-A-D-D at geekeryabides.com. All that stuff will be in the description as well. I finally got something built out to have in the description that has all that information as well.
Nice.
So you'll have all that as that you can access from the podcast side as well. Let's go ahead and jump on over to watching, reading, playing. I guess this is your episode, so it's your call on how we go about
I'll
this,
go first.
So. All right.
So watching, we watched The Conjuring on Halloween. My daughter's first time watching The Conjuring. She absolutely loved it.
No nightmares or anything?
No. She is a true bona fide horror fan. So
she should have started 10 years ago.
I think we're a year.
Maybe not 10
I
years
think we're a year or two removed from her joining us at horror films, at least.
I don't even know if it's a couple years, man. She's into it.
Dude, it might be next year that we bring her to her first horror film, because she
Scream 7 is next year.
Oh. She's gonna have a lot of screams to watch in between now and then. Which, by the way, little story, fun fact about that. We were talking about horror films after watching The Conjuring, and she was like, "Yeah, I loved Scream. I wish there was more." I was like, "Kid, number 7 comes out next year," and she goes, "There's 6 of them?" And I go, "And a TV show." And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
TV shows, actually, I think I only watched 2 of the 3 seasons, which is funny because the first 2 seasons have a dumb mask. It isn't until the 3rd one they actually bring in the real mask.
Oh, really?
And that's when I petered out of the show. Not that it was necessarily bad, but maybe I'll have to try to get back into it and revisit the 3rd season. But yeah, it's good stuff. That's fun.
Yeah, she loved it. I finished up my Daniel Craig Bond watch through. I watched No Time to Die. I've watched all 5. I don't know if I said that on the last episode, but I've watched all 5 of his films.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not sure if you'd watched them all by that point. But
Yeah, No Time to Die, I know for sure I didn't. I think I was partway through it last episode.
Maybe even said that.
Or I was partway through Spectre. It was one of the two.
Yeah.
But then me and my wife also rewatched Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, just back to back, those two.
Yeah.
God, those are still such good movies.
Yeah.
When Steve lifts the hammer in Endgame.
Yeah. He lifted it in Ultron too.
I did.
All the people who were surprised were foolish. Nobody else even budges it.
Yeah.
So that whole thing, he knew full well he was going to upset Thor if he lifted
He's
it.
like,
in
I better
Ultron,
not. I'm a team player.
Yeah.
I will say I did make a joke in Endgame that my wife was thoroughly amused by.
I was about to say it could be laughing, could be she was disgusted.
No,
she was disappointed.
Yeah, there was a lot there that I can do for her. Steve faces himself, I've got Loki, and he thinks that he's fighting Loki, but it's actually, Cap versus Cap from the future.
Yeah.
I went 2 Captain Americas and no beards. This is distasteful.
I love it.
I hate it.
Best part is that when he's got that.
It's the worst part of Endgame is when he shaves. And then I've been rewatching Stranger Things. I rewatched season 1 with my wife, kind of. She was watching it, and I just kind of caught like 70% of it. So I just went into season 2. So I've watched season 2 and 3, and I'm 3 episodes into season 4.
Oh,
which is perfect timing, with
yeah,
it.
I probably should have started it earlier because I thought about doing that, but I haven't. And the Flanagan stuff's drawing me a little bit. It's that time of year.
It's that time of year where Haunting of Hill House and The Bly Manor.
And I'm wondering if my way to not force myself, because I love all of this stuff,
Yeah.
but because I feel like I always watch Hill House and with the intention of then going to Bly Manor or Midnight Mass, all that kind of stuff. But then I never end up doing it. So I'm like, what if I put Hill House at the end? And I can't watch it till
that's
I watch the rest.
That's my brownie at the end of dinner, kind
But
of.
that makes it sound like it's a chore to watch his stuff, which it's not at all.
No.
It's just a matter of I just get distracted. I'll watch Hill House and I get distracted. Because I still,
all right, I watched my favorite one. I don't have to watch these
but
others.
at the same time,
I could, but I don't have
at the same time, I've not rewatched Midnight Mass ever. I haven't rewatched.
You've only watched it once?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's so good.
Same thing with House of Usher, and then Hill House is the only one I've rewatched.
That's one that I haven't. I've never watched Bly Manor still, and I have only watched The Fall of the House of Usher once. So
yeah.
I maybe that's what I should watch next is The Fall of House of Usher. Anyways, so that's what I've been watching. I read The Running Man. We did that for our Patreon hangout on our other podcast.
Yeah.
And then I've been playing mostly Battlefield 6 and Subnautica. Started that up again. Subnautica is just a fun game where you're trapped on a planet and have to build your way out, and it's all ocean, so that's kind of fun. And then Battlefield 6, I got that, and I've now played my first Battle Royale.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are you done then?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so I'll start.
NCAA football. I think I played a couple of games of that.
I'll start at the bottom. I just bought Battlefield 6. I haven't had much of a chance to play it yet. I think I've jumped into a couple matches is all. But a lot of Ready or Not.
Oh yeah.
Going through on my single player. I think I'm all the way through the main missions now. I think I still have at least one outlying with a bad grade, but yeah, I think it's about time to start diving into the rest of the extra shit. So
the DLC.
Yeah, and then The Running Man, like you said, with that, reading that for the other show. And then on the watching side, I've been a little bit light on watching stuff, but I have watched a couple episodes of The Good Fight, which is the follow-up to The Good Wife. Also, I saw a banner somewhere that The Devil in Disguise, the Gacy show, came out in October, so I went and binged that last weekend, so that was really good.
On Netflix?
Peacock, because they're the ones that did that last... They did they did they did the documentary, Devil in Disguise on Gacy, and the guy that played Mole Man in Fantastic Four, they cast him as Gacy. I think they actually cast him in the documentary because I think there was
Peacock.
I think there was a couple of dramatizations that they had him in, and then from that they decided to do a full on dramatization. It was really good. I highly recommend it. The director was very overt about the fact he didn't want to glamorize anything. So I will say there's a lot of victim time with the victims. There were certainly some scenes with Gacy, but it wasn't just 8 hours of Gacy fucking torturing and killing children and, adults or whatever, mostly boys, right? Anywhere from 12 to 17.
somewhere
in that range, or maybe there's a one 19-year-old too.
I think there's a couple.
But
Adults,
there was a lot of stuff with like the parents. Like it kind of covers everything. The whole 8 episodes goes from like basically early on them investigating him because of the pieced kid from the grocery store, all the way through his execution in the final thing, which I actually didn't know until watching this. Did you know that they brought the family in, but then they fucking bamboozled them and didn't let him actually go witness it?
Mm-hmm.
They hit him in another part of the prison.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I don't think I've ever looked in it far enough to know
his
that.
family, right?
No, the family, the victim's family.
Oh, the victim's family. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So really good, though. Highly recommend it. It was really well done. Very creepy in its moments, for sure. And then, of course, yesterday, I decided to dive into Pluribus that just dropped the day before, the new Vince Gilligan show. Watch the first episode. Great, wonderful, loved it. When I was actually doing prep, and I was like, oh, they said there was a podcast, and Vince Gilligan's always done a good job of doing podcasts of his shows. Like, I'll go look it up. Pull the podcast up, and it said episode 2. I'm like,
wait,
why would they release the podcast for an episode that's not out yet? I'm like, oh my god. So I literally stopped everything I was doing, went back and they put 2 episodes. But Vince has never, he's never done streaming before. But it's the first time a Vince product has ever had.
So was there 2 episodes to start with, and you just didn't?
Yeah.
Next episode didn't come up?
No.
Where's this one on?
Apple.
That one's on Apple.
Yeah.
Okay.
So highly recommend it. It's pretty great so far. I've only watched the one trailer for it, but like the first episode, I had on one of my shorts, I talked about it. The first episode definitely had me to an extent. I was going to be invested because of Vince, no matter what.
Yeah.
But like the second episode, though, I was like, holy shit.
What's the premise of this? I haven't heard of this.
So I don't even know. Like, and I'm trying to think what the trailer. So like. I'm not sure how much, because I only watched the one trailer, so I don't know how much they revealed, so I don't know what I want to say necessarily, but like I remember the one trailer, they're basically like the entire world seemingly is at the beck and call of the main character, like making her happy, able to do whatever they want and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. My problem is I didn't watch all the trailers, so
Okay.
they may have actually revealed some more in the trailers. I just am reticent to say anything, but
Okay.
it's sci-fi. They
Okay.
confirmed that after Better Call Saul. They're like, yeah, the next thing I'm going to do is sci-fi. So it's like, yeah, it's really, really good storytelling though. Very much felt very Left Behind kind of stuff like that is kind of some of the stuff that I am vibing so far. So yeah, love that though. And then yeah, that's it. I've not watched or played a whole. I mean, I actually played a lot of Ready or Not last week, but I haven't been. And then like Battlefield, I think I downloaded it at the very end of last weekend, so I think I had time to like play a match or two, and I'm like, all right, it's time to go to bed. I got work tomorrow, type thing.
Yeah.
So I haven't even reached out to you to tell you that I've got it yet. So.
Nope, you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is watching, reading, playing.
Excellent. Let's dive into our main topic then.
Yeah, which means that's you, sir.
Peacemaker Season 2. Which realistically, we could talk about Season 1. We never talked about it on here. You hadn't watched it until Season 2 was coming out because now it's connected to the DCU.
Yeah, because they basically said that like Peacemaker Season 2 was going to be the next step after Superman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what? All right, well, and then literally the next weekend I binged the entirety of Season 1 and waited very patiently for season. No, I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first season quite a bit. I think that my problem was like I didn't care for the character of Peacemaker in the movie.
Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad. And yeah, so I was like, I'm not going to watch a show based on that character.
Why would I care about him?
I have no interest in it. So, but I'm glad that Superman kind of dragged me into this whole thing because I actually really enjoyed the first season. And then the second season, I mean, I think you have a lot of great characters in this.
Mm-hmm.
The whole, not Firefly, Butterflies.
Yeah.
Was the villain thing, like the aliens and stuff. So, yeah, no, it's great. And I actually think the funny thing too is like the whole Superman thing is what sparked me. But I have seen the clip multiple times of like the old man,
the Batman.
There's the Batman one, and there's the other one. There's 2 times that he like kind of faces off with that old man that lives next door to his dad. So,
I only remember the Batman one.
The Batman one's pretty common, but I feel like there's the one where he's like out kind of in front of the house. The other time he's off to the side of the hedge.
He's like walking to his car is what he's doing, and then he comes back and yells at him.
Yeah. So I had seen that clip, but yeah, no, it's great. I think John Cena. I mean, I'm not jumping ahead too far to say there's a point in season 2 that I think that John Cena may have taken the crown for the best professional wrestler turned actor in terms of performance wise. I think overall catalog, I think Batista's still got Dave Batista still has the crown because of everything he's done. And he's done an immaculate job at acting too. I don't want to take anything away from him.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff in this season 2 of Peacemaker that was like, I
didn't know that John had that in him.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And he had a lot of great stuff in season 1 as well.
Yeah.
Season 1 was way more batshit, kind of just, like
Yeah.
there's like almost an entire episode he's trying to escape that apartment complex in his underwear. Like it's just like the craziest shit. That
Almost had sex with that chick, or he did have.
He
sex
did
with
have
her.
sex
He did
with
have
her,
sex with her. Yeah.
Oh man, and I love just like the irreverent. I mean, honestly, if I would have known back in the day that it was actually James Gunn,
Yeah.
because I think I missed that somehow, that James Gunn, because I think I maybe would have given it a chance earlier had I known that.
Yeah.
And I probably should have, but I missed that James Gunn.
That's when he got fired from Marvel. He went over and did the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker,
Yeah,
and then came back to Marvel.
but I didn't realize that he was actually
Yeah.
attached to Peacemaker. I thought it was just more of like they decided to riff off of the character from the James Gunn movie. I didn't realize
Yeah.
James was actually involved in it. So that is kind of to my shame that I didn't know that, because otherwise I probably would watch it sooner. At the same time, though, not a big deal because I only had to wait like less than a month for the second season versus a couple years like all the rest of you folks that watched it back in the day.
Yeah,
So,
I watched it last year. Do you have a fuzzy sound in your headphones, or is it just me?
no.
Okay, cool.
Seems fine to me.
Good. Okay, it's just me. Just want to make sure. Yeah, I watched season 1 last year or beginning of this year. Yeah, that did it.
Yeah, sometimes there's just it gets funny with the thing. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And then I was excited for season 2, and I was curious how it was going to work because season 1 was before the DCU,
Yeah.
and season 2 is the continuation of the DCU, which was started with Superman.
Officially, yes.
Officially. So it makes me curious to like, how does the continuity work with the Suicide Squad then and everything? So
Yeah. So I think
that's a whole big thing.
yeah. Well,
It's not a hard reboot
no, it's very mushy for sure. Because
because
there was some references to the first Suicide Squad in this season of Peacemaker season 2. So it's like, literally, James is just like a kid in a candy store picking whatever the fuck he wants and leaving out
Exactly.
whatever the fuck he wants. So
he's not doing a hard reset though.
it's
So,
funny to me that like there's like all the shit where he's talking about like, Aquaman fucking fish and Superman having an ass thing. Like, because there's like people are like, oh, well, now is that canon? I'm like, dude, he's like, this is like that dude you work with or it's your uncle that just believes every dumb thing he sees on the internet. Like, that's literally how I've always interpreted this.
Yeah.
Never once in season 1 was I like, oh yeah, this is legit. He actually knows this. Like, no, he's full of shit, dude.
He's not a member of the Justice League.
No,
he doesn't
yeah.
talk to them. He's never met them.
Yeah, he's a fucking idiot. So it's just funny because like with this whole
He
like
is very obviously like naive in that aspect where he reads something and he thinks that it's true.
yeah,
He is very much like a boomer in that aspect where it's like,
yeah.
what? Aquaman fucks fish? Oh, that's
I
disgusting.
mean, that's real. We know that. That's real. Fucking Aquaman, dude. I just what a terrible, terrible hero. Just the worst. Like, yeah. So I enjoyed the first season though quite a bit. I know we're technically talking about season 2, but like, yeah, we've never talked about season 1, but I enjoyed it a lot. At the very end of it, they actually tie into like the DCEU. And then they retconned it in this season with, replacing the characters with characters from Superman. You
got Mr. Terrific and Green Lantern and everything. So they even show it like they like do like a quick like cut and you see the cameo from Nathan Fillion and Hawkgirl.
Yeah, and then Nathan's in the interview scene too, right? So. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Hawkgirl, Nathan, and Flag are the 3 that are interviewing Chris at the very beginning of the season.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So with this, obviously you liked it.
Oh yeah,
that was the
I
big
loved
thing.
it. I don't know if it's a hot take, but I think I like the second season more than the first season.
I think so too.
I do think there's a lot of pushback on the finale, and I really think it's James.
We're gonna get there.
It's James's fault.
We're gonna get there.
James just said the wrong shit.
Okay,
he overpromised.
Let's just do it then. Let's just
because like if you
let's rip the band.
If you go look at the ranking, like the ratings on like IMDb and shit, like
Uh-huh.
it's bad. The finale is not great.
Is it
So,
really?
and I'm like, dude, it was a great finale in a lot of ways. Now, but I think it really just came down to if you heard James say the things he said, you were expecting a lot, right? And we mentioned
right, so
we mentioned it on this show. I mean, we talked about the big cameos. So it's like, okay, so is Superman showing up? I mean, I remember talking to you at work about his Batman.
We could potentially see the first Batman.
Yeah.
The new Batman for the DCU.
I mean, we could have even seen Pattinson, for God's sake, with the doors and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
so I guess we should give this a spoiler warning going forward. We are going to be spoiling the entirety of season 2. We haven't really kind of talked
Superman.
anything, and Superman's been out for months. Fuck that. If they haven't, if they haven't seen Superman by this point, that's their own fault if they're listening to this.
But at the same time, like the Peacemaker's been out for a bit now too.
Well, season 2 is just it's within a couple months. Like it just barely ended last month, so not even a couple months. It's less than a month from the season finale. So Superman's been out since July. Go watch it.
Yeah.
It's out on streaming. It's out on Blu-ray and able to purchase. Go watch it. Okay, 7, 8.4, 7.6, 8.1, 9.1, 9.1, 6.7. Fuck.
Yeah.
You weren't kidding.
It's a sharp
Okay,
drop.
so we're going to rip the Band-Aid off now. We're going to talk about what James Gunn did and what...
And we covered it on the show repeatedly. Like, like even like as we were kind of like doing like short touch-ins on the show as we were watching it real time before we knew we were going to do this full episode. Like we've certainly talked about, we've covered it in the news, the shit that James said. So it's like, I feel like we've kind of, you could catch us up, but ultimately...
basically, it comes down to is that James has sold us that Peacemaker, we've already said it in this episode, Peacemaker's the next step. It's the next big thing in DCU. It's the building block for everything that we're going to do, and it's going to be huge, and there's going to be a ton of cameos, especially in the last episode.
The last chunk of episodes.
They
didn't give the basically from the reveal, that episode of the reveal of the other world all the way through, they didn't give any of that to the critics. And a lot of times behind the scenes wise, like full on big ass critics will get entire seasons given to them way in advance, so they could basically watch the whole thing, write all their reviews, and then
hype it,
and hype it. But also on top of it, like a lot of times when you see these big shows, and when you go and you finish the episode, and you go and there's already 15 reviews, like those people didn't sit there madly typing. Like a lot of times they're given the episodes in advance, but James didn't because he wanted to hold the secrecy and stuff. So there was a lot, and honestly, I think a lot of it is on the fans though. And including myself, including you potentially. I don't know where you fell on it, but I think all of us took what he said and started imagining the most grandiose shit, that we imagined, Ultraman, we imagined Batman, we imagined all this shit. And like
even Superman showing up.
Yeah.
We imagined that there would be a laid out on a platter where this DCU is going.
But I think they did that though.
So we're going to talk about that.
I think they did.
We're going to talk about that, but we expected this from A to B to Y to Z. We're expecting like straight through linear explanation. It's going to be laid out for us. We're going to get all these cameos. We're going to get the new Batman, or we're going to get Ultraman, or we're going to get Mr. Terrific. We're going to get something.
Yeah.
And we got Lex Luthor helping Flag to find a way to use the doors to find salvation.
Which that's the big...
Here's the big thing with that, is that I had never fucking heard of salvation before.
Yeah, and most hadn't.
And that's the big thing, is that exactly most people hadn't, and I did some research into this because I had never heard of salvation. So salvation is a prison planet where a lot of they finally had enough. Humankind finally had enough with big bads, and they went, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And all of them got sent out, and it's kind of the DC version of Secret Wars, but only villains. Trapped on this planet, and factions form, alliances form, and you get people like Kite Man is teaming up with Lex Luthor. It's like, wait, what the fuck? That would have never happened. But
I will say, even this, like taking one step back from the salvation thing, I do think so. I think that's the tease that like ultimately that's setting the stage for the next phase of the DCU, and I think that's legit. But I really think where all the anger is coming from is the cameo thing. Not even I don't think people necessarily wanted everything on a platter as much as I think it's the cameos is why. If he hadn't said that statement the way he said it, I think that rating is way different. Now, I'm not saying it would have been great. There's some people bitching that, it just feels like it was just 2 extended music scenes and that's dumb, but I fucking loved both. So like
I felt like I do feel like episode 7 was more of a finale than episode 8. Episode 8 felt like the first episode of the next season.
So
kind of. I understand the cliffhanger there and everything.
I disagree in one sense. And here's the thing, and this gets into the age-old fucking thing. plot versus character. Plot doesn't fucking matter when it comes to true storytelling. It's about your characters. And if you're someone that is just only married to plot, you're going to find yourself disappointed a lot of the times.
Yeah.
The plot may have been resolved in the second to last episode, but the character shit had not at all been resolved yet.
Oh no, the character stuff for Chris was resolved in that episode.
No, the stuff with her, with Harcourt, like all that stuff.
Oh, that hotel scene's in the last
everything's
episode.
everything.
Oh, I was thinking
the entire
my bad.
the entire
You're right.
yeah, exactly.
You're
so
right.
the entire emotional,
Yeah.
which was what the entire fucking season was
where
built
they
on.
come when they come to the hotel room and they find Chris and they're like, "Dude, yeah, you're fucked up. Like all of us are.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're not special. You're not a curse."
Because
you
the
know,
seven
and everything like
seven
that.
ends with him in prison, just getting like sitting down in his cell type thing. So it's
Yeah.
like, so like from my perspective, if you're fixated on plot, yes, it resolved itself in 7 and the rest.
Right.
But like I've been like jumping on this hill a bit on the internet because on message boards and shit because it's like. I think you're like, and I'm not saying to you, but like you're absolutely wrong if you think that 7 was the finale because you're completely ignoring the character. If we would have ended it there, anyone that's like really fixated on like true storytelling would have been like, dude, you didn't resolve anything about the fucking character.
Yeah, what's the point of this? What's the point of this season?
He didn't figure out his trauma. He didn't figure out the shit with Harcourt. Like and that's like that. Those are the true drivers of the entire season. I think comic book fans have a really big problem with really fixating on plot because like, especially when you're like, oh, we want to see what's next. Is it going to be Brainiac? Is it going to be, like, and we did
because we don't care about the characters as much, and I'm lumping myself in.
Yeah,
and
we did that with Marvel,
We
and I
did.
think in the middle of Phase 3, all of us, like me, you, Hayden, your wife, we're all like, oh, we were a little bit disappointed on a movie that was actually great, but I think we all looked at each other where we're like, are we expecting too much? Why is it that everything we're not looking at any film in and of itself? We're looking at
in a little petri dish of Doctor Strange and the
Multiverse of
Madness.
And
Take just Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It's a fantastic film.
It's a great movie.
But when you throw it into the pantheon of Marvel, all of a sudden it's like, well, it didn't give me much.
It did, and like
all it did was kill Wanda.
And we were all outside the theater talking, and when it's like, I think I was the one that brought it up. I'm like, man, why is it that we're like completely just looking at each thing as like a means to an end of like just getting us to the next chain? And I think all of us
literally, this is the second thing.
It's and then this is the exact same thing. I think with this whole episode 7 to episode 8, it's the exact same thing. I think when everyone's sitting there thinking, oh, we're going to see Batman, we're going to see Superman. I mean, at the same time, just to give James some credit, the big cameo, I know he said cameos, but big, like we're talking about the biggest actor in the DCU is Nicholas Hoult. He's an Academy Award nominee at least. Like he is a legit fucking high-end actor. There's no one bigger than him. I'm sorry, there is not. There's nobody in the DCU right now that rivals him in terms of like cachet of like the kind of fucking actor. Right now, Pattinson exists, but he's not in the DCU. Pattinson's also a dude that's had some Oscar buzz, whatever. He's a great fucking actor, well respected. But Nicholas is
nominated, nominated.
But an Oscar nominated, and that's why I didn't think he had won.
Yeah.
But either way, though, it's like
just confirm.
You can look at it from the perspective of like, oh yeah, well, in the realm of the universe, Corn Sweat would have been huge because that's Superman.
Right.
But if we're talking about it from the realm of like the one person you probably would almost expect not to see showing up in this would have been Nicholas Hoult because like the dude's a very busy.
Yeah.
Well-regarded actor.
Well, also, the big thing is that we have to remember that the DCU is being built from Superman, and if it's being built from Superman, who is Superman's big bad? It's Lex Luthor.
It's Lex, yeah.
Like we have, man, you had like 75-80% conviction that Lex was president in Superman.
Oh yeah,
the way they cut that trailer, you're like the sons of bitches.
They bamboozled us with it.
But you were ready to be like, Luthor's going to be president. And we're going to get the Public Enemy's Superman.
Yeah,
which is a fantastic story, and I'm all about it.
I'm hoping they wait till Batman's around though, because it needs to be Public Enemies.
Public Enemies with Batman and Superman, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. But I think that we have Lex show up, and when Lex shows up, he gives him the stability. And I have a theory about that. We'll get to that a little bit later.
And I'm sorry, I know I jumped kind of toward the end. If we want to back, I
wanted to rip the Band-Aid off because it is a big thing with Peacemaker season 2 is that there were expectations set. Now, whether it's the fans' fault or James Gunn's fault, or I think it's split. 50-50.
And also ads with her wife. That was all in the final episode. Like, so that's still an unresolved thing all the way back to season 1. Like, 8 is such an important episode, man. And again,
and then establishing
it's,
Checkmate, where they actually have a home and everything
and
like that.
you redeem Judo Master.
Yep.
Who else was with them? There's one other person that was like not really part of the group.
It's the guy that has the bird blindness.
Oh yeah.
Carly, something like that.
Oh, I'm blanking now. Tim
He's
Meadows.
the cannibal from Brooklyn Nine-Nine is all every time I see him.
Tim Meadows, the ladies man. So he's the other one. But yeah, you establish Checkmate, you establish Salvation, which you've already kind of alluded to, like, which is, I really think that is the big thing that we're headed towards. I think that is the first phase of DCU.
Flurry is his name.
Flurry, yeah.
Flurry.
I think like that is kind of that's the Avengers invasion that we're headed towards. It's going to kind of culminate this first leg of the DCU is going to be Salvation. And I think that we're going to see a lot of shit happening with this. Like, there's already been some confirmations about some characters that have been confirmed for Peacemaker characters have been confirmed for Superman or Man of Tomorrow, not Man of Steel, Man of Tomorrow, which is not even a Superman movie, because it's going to be a co-lead with Superman and Lex, and they're going to be teaming up together. But they've already confirmed a couple characters. I think Vigilante, thank God. But there's been
Adrian is so fucking great.
Give me an Adrian Cinematic Universe, man. He is such a fucking amazing character.
So good.
But all I'm saying is that I just want to get on my soapbox smidge, just to say that, like, let's not fixate on plot. Character is what truly makes, like, because like, it's one thing to say, like, oh, hey, here's a story about someone that goes back in time and tries to stop the Kennedy assassination. Cool, that sounds fucking cool from a plot perspective. But then if they don't actually do decent character work or whatever else, you end up watching the movie and you're like, oh, that was kind of mid. Like,
that guy's boring as hell.
Or there's like and it's more dated than bad, but like there's the one about the whole Nimitz class aircraft carrier that goes back to Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is like a fascinating fucking concept, but the movie's just meh. It's just,
is it?
Yeah, it's
because the characters are
dated too. Yeah, it just feels,
it's like an 80s carrier.
Yeah, it's just like an 80s. Yeah, maybe not Nimitz class, or no, it's Nimitz class because Gerald Ford is the new class. So, so ultimately, if you fixate on plot, because there's a million fucking things I could tell you where I could like give you the plot of a movie or the basic premise, and you're like, oh, that sounds incredible, and you go and watch it, it's like a kick in the nuts. It's like, dude, that fucking sucked. And it's like, the difference there is when you have a truly great character, that's what makes plots like plot is a tool to help your character development and your character arc.
It's the Bram Stoker's Dracula. As great as that story is, the only reason that movie is so phenomenal is because of Gary Oldman's Dracula. Like the character of that, and then Van Helsing with Anthony Hopkins and all the others. Great characters. Yeah. Because they were developed and they were, refined and everything like that. If they're not refined, great, it's another vampire story.
It's just a vampire story. And like I just talked about earlier on about like the Flanagan stuff. The reason that Flanagan stuff, is there any point that you're sitting there talking about the plot points about like, oh, that moment when they finally leave the house? No, you're talking about the character moments. It's like, and what makes the Haunting Hill House one of the greatest horror things in the last 30 years is the character stuff. And that's what, like, why is Sydney such a great character? Because we care about her as a character. She's not just some ditzy fucking girl that like you don't care. Like, she's not just your normal slasher chick, right? Like
all the girls in the sequels of Halloween, all the girls in Friday the 13th, and all the girls in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, it's just
it was rinse and repeat with them.
They just became disposable, and it's just like, and that's why you end up cheering for the slasher killers, because it's like, well, you
kill them, Jason.
Yeah, you've given me some 2-dimensional fucking whatever. But it's like when you truly get someone like Sydney in the first Scream, and just look at just the first one, the character they've truly built in, her trauma, all that stuff, that's what makes that movie so much greater. That's what makes you really feel and care for her, to where it's so much more of an oomph behind her than Nancy.
And they set up the characters in Peacemaker season 2. Let's go back a little bit.
100%.
They set up the kids perfectly with, where is John at the start of the season? He's lost. He doesn't know what to think of what's going on with Harcourt. Harcourt is lost. She doesn't know what to think of what her career is going to be.
Yeah,
which is the most important
and that's her whole
thing.
life, right?
And the whole stuff with
Abadayo.
No, it is John, right?
John Cena.
John Cena's character.
Chris.
I was saying John, but I meant Chris. Chris is like sub with her, with Harcourt. Somehow, the big guy, just basically, ergonomics.
Economos, yeah.
Economos kept his job somehow under Flag.
Yeah.
Flag's in charge of Argus.
Yeah.
And then yes, the stuff with Abadiah with her girlfriend and everything is like, what's going on here and everything. So we're like,
and even the flag thing that wasn't resolved.
no.
Right, like in 7, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get off stumping on it. I'm just saying that all the people are like, oh, 7's the finale, and this just feels like you're just building your bridge for the next one. It's like, man, there are a lot of things that we hadn't resolved yet. I mean, Flag still hadn't even got his revenge. Like, yeah, he got his punches in, but like that's not enough for him losing his fucking kid, man. Like that,
for his son being murdered, basically.
Yeah, there was
eye.
gonna be way more than a fucking that knee to the face though.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of the most effective fucking punch kick whatever else I've ever seen in a movie. I've never seen one that looked that fucome brutal, man. I've seen slashers where things didn't look that brutal.
Yeah.
That was like masterful James Gunn shit there, because just as a director, it came down to him, the people that were doing the choreography and stuff. But yeah, that was not enough. He didn't get it out of his system there.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. But when we ultimately picked this season off, is it's just there was it felt very much of a to be continued at the end of the last one. Like we got a resolution to the butterflies, but like all of our characters are left in kind of disarray,
especially with what Abadiah did with revealing her mom.
Yeah,
and Waller is removed. So now what are we going to do with?
Thank
Argus?
God, I hate Waller.
I know, right?
I mean, she's supposed to be hateable, but I just don't feel like I ever like hating her. And maybe that's just because they've done such a good job with her. She's just terrible.
She's just
She's
very much a character that you're just looking at her and you're just going, why are you like this? What's wrong with you?
Why are you the way that you
Why
are?
are you the way that you are?
Now, I will say the one thing about this season that really put me off is I've never hated a Flag before. So, making this villainous Flag senior.
See, that's the thing is, though, is like, can you really call him villainous for being upset that his son was murdered?
Not until the end. The end is when it becomes...
Okay. Let's talk about that.
I was just throwing you a little joke there, though. That's the first time I've ever hated a Flag.
I know you're a piece of shit. You like Randall Flagg in the Dark Tower and Stephen King verse, but yes, not here, Ted. That's not this show.
Oh, Flag is.
I have
everywhere.
I have a theory, and I want to run it past you because you have an eye for stuff like this. Flag. Before meeting Luther.
Oh, he's Clayface. I think he's Clayface.
Before?
No, it's from when we saw him. I guess I haven't seen Creature Commandos, but apparently everyone's very jarred by how fucking radical of a shift there was from what he was in that, from what he is here. Mm-hmm. And like, there's a few things they set up with some of the flashback scenes where like, call me Rick, don't call me Colonel, that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. And at the end when she calls him, oh, sorry, Rick, he's like, what? And it's like, I don't know. That's maybe fringe. Like tinfoil hat, but I'm not sure that this is actually Flag. Okay. Even just what we've seen in this, I haven't watched Creature Commando, but even just that flashback to like, he's got kind of a warmth to him, whatever else. Like even after the son's death, when he's like, can you tell me whatever? There's still a difference there. Mm-hmm. And then toward what we see in there in like the compound when they're actually working with the doors, like that feels like a completely different fucking human being.
Okay, hear me out.
And there's a theory that it's Clayface.
Okay. Yeah. I understand. That's literally what I have written down is people say Clayface. But that seems too obvious. So I have a theory. Just hear me out. Okay, don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me.
He's not Batman.
No. No. What if he's Luther?
I mean, he is very
What
much...
if Lex swapped bodies with Flag because that body... Luther's body is in prison.
Yeah, and broken.
So he got beat up by Crypto.
But when would it have flipped?
Look at Flag before going to see Luther. Look at Flag after seeing Luther. What if Luther is pulling a kingpin and controls everything from prison there? And somehow has a device that swaps the two of them. Because even like what's her name?
And he does
Flag's second in command.
He does tout him up in the thing. He's like, this is a long way from you. Like whatever. He's like, well, he's the smartest person on the planet.
Exactly. So what if Luther found a way to swap bodies with him? And Gunn said that
mind control him.
Mind controls him is another thing.
Yeah.
What if he is controlling Flag's body from prison in like a little chamber or something like that? I like the idea of swapping bodies. So Flag's stuck in prison.
I mean, Lex Luthor's way better than Clayface anyway. So I'm.
But hear me
son
out.
Of a bitch, I'm in.
But hear me out. Gunn says that what happens in Peacemaker ties directly into Man of Tomorrow. the original Man of Tomorrow is Luthor and Superman have to team up, correct?
Everything we've been, even just the image they showed us, like the fact that it's Luthor in the
Yes.
suit, but Superman's got a screwdriver.
Yeah.
I think that gives you the impression that like they're
Right.
not fighting.
What if it's not Luthor in Luthor's body? What if it's Flag and Superman and Gunn's bamboozling us on that? I'm just saying, Gunn is a crafty son of a bitch, and I'm just throwing it out there. I think Clayface is way too fucking obvious. I think it's way too obvious that it's Clayface. Clayface is slated to have a horror film.
Especially because
It's a body horror film and everything
especially
like
because Flanagan kind of threw Clayface out of left field. Like I don't
Right.
think it was part of the plan.
that. Right.
I think it was just a thing where it's like, oh, you got one of the best horror directors on the planet telling you that he's got an idea that he wants to write for something.
This
Like,
actually looks pretty good. Let's make it.
yeah, and then it's
But I'm just saying, I think that everyone is fixating on Clayface, and I think Gunn is doing the whole, oh, watch my right hand, smack.
100%. Kind of like editing the trailer. Did you talk to the president? And it cuts to Lex Luthor.
Right. I'm just saying, watch Luthor. I like your idea that Luthor's controlling Flag, but the way that he's acting all chummy and happy with them, that's how Luthor was with them, high-fiving
Yeah,
them when they
no.
succeeded in everything,
You know what?
having a beer with them, and I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck, this is giving off Luthor vibes
Yeah,
to me.
and then again, like the compliments he's paying, the smartest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
And he is ultimately completely saying that, because like in Creature Commandos, which I haven't seen, but I've seen enough online to know that like he's very friendly with all the people. So like he wouldn't necessarily be anti-soups like
Right.
Luthor is, right?
Right.
Like even when they come in,
Peacemaker's not a soup.
even when they
He
come
has a vendetta against him, but what the fuck does he care about Superman?
yeah, and when he asks him about Chris, he's like, is he a super? No, then what the fuck do I care? Like
Yeah.
that's essentially his disposition, right? He's
Yeah.
like, who cares?
And even in like Superman, Flag is on Superman's side for the most part. He
Yeah.
does what he's told, and when he's told to go arrest Superman,
Yeah.
he does
No,
it.
there's a radical shift for Flag
I
for sure.
think it's Luthor, dude.
I don't know about body swap, but I think mind control can
Mind
be
control is
yeah.
well, but he acts like Luthor to me, so it just makes me think like,
I-
what if he took his conscious? Because this has happened before
This is
in the
comic
DCU.
books.
This has happened before in the DCU. Not DCU, but in DC, there is a thing where in the show Harley Quinn, which is fairly recent, where someone literally takes a good character and a bad character and literally swaps their consciousness.
Yeah.
And it's been done before a lot in comics.
Oh yeah. It's
So
classic.
man, it would not, because then you have the buddy cop movie with Flag in Luthor's body and Superman being like, dude, it's so hard for me to realize that you're Flag. I keep wanting to punch you in the face because you're Luthor, you know?
Yeah.
It'd be a fun buddy cop movie
Yeah,
instead,
it's
and
like-
you're
it's like
trying to fix his situation.
Freaky Friday Superman
Yeah,
version.
exactly.
No, that's I think you might be onto something, man. I'm
Yeah?
yeah, I think
Okay.
yeah.
That was my big thing with that. As I sat there watching those last 2 episodes of Peacemaker, and I'm just like,
kind
is
of like
that fucking Luthor?
kind of like me in the original few episodes, and I'm like, that is a Nazi world.
Yes, which we have to talk about. Oh my gosh, you called that from like the first moment.
The first.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
it's-
we seriously, I am not kidding.
I said it on the
Everyone,
show too. Yeah, it was
You
just-
did. You called that from like episode 1.
Whenever
Like,
when was the first time we went to that world though? Was it
episode 1 when he sees
Oh, really?
his dad, when he sees his dad and his
Oh,
dad's
that was-
alive and his dad's a hero.
That's right. That's
You're
right.
like, dude, watch it be the Nazi world. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
And
And then I didn't even know about this. And then you told me about there's an alternate reality in DC where the Nazis won
Yeah,
and
Earth
America's
X.
ran by.
Because the CW shit actually got into it at one point.
Oh, did they?
Crisis on Earth X, and it becomes the thing where it's like one of their big crossovers. They cross over all the shows.
All the shows. Yeah.
So was familiar with it because of that.
I had
but
stopped watching by then.
Yeah.
I never finished those shows.
I actually didn't finish them either, but I did actually ended up going and watching just out of context the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I think was one of the last crossovers they did. Because I was like, and I've seen like there's the one scene where the Lex Luthor goes after the Smallville Superman.
Oh, really?
I see it all the time on my reels because he comes up to him and he's like on the farm chopping wood.
Yeah, and he's like, "You're my greatest enemy" or something like that.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna kill Superman and all the whatever, and then he like pulls out the kryptonite and he grabs it and throws it, and he's like, what? That's kryptonite. And he's like, yeah, and it doesn't matter after I gave it my powers. And then he steps on a toy and looks down and like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you were a god and you gave it up for fucking kids.
Yeah.
He's like, and then he ends up punching Lex, and he's like, I can still kick your ass. Type thing. So it's a great scene. It comes on my fucking shit all the time because it's just one of those iconic scenes that and I actually even heard someone in my barbershop talking about the scene. So I'm like, I guess everyone sees this.
I think I may have watched one of the scenes there because Kevin Conroy got to play a live action Batman.
Yeah,
so I watched that scene. He's a bad guy.
Yeah, that's in the Infinite Earths one.
He's
so
a bad guy.
So I had some context of knowing that, but it just I can't remember what it was, but there was just one point when I realized like, man, everyone's white, and I'm like,
I think it was the second episode where he actually goes through and like rides the motorcycle.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, there's not a single minority. And I was like, Ted, you can't just wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm racked my brain going through the scenes, and he rescues the building, he stops the people. They say they're the Sons of Liberty, who are the people who believe in liberty. America, what does America believe in? Democracy. Oh my God, is he right? Are these Nazis?
And then a few episodes later, when they're in you spend more time in the actual like Argus thing. I'm like, do you notice that all the flags are rolled up? You can't see the blue field on any of those flags.
Dude, I fucking loved the reveal. Too.
Oh my God, dude!
She's like, what about that? It's just a fucking portrait of Hitler.
How did you miss the mural of Hitler? He's like, oh, how the fuck did I miss that?
How did I miss that?
Yeah,
It's like, God damn it, Chris.
Yeah, the copies of Mein Kampf is like, do you think I have a body? Do you think I have a body like this if I read books?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I love it.
I died.
Most people are with it, but there's some people that complain or like, are you kidding me? He didn't see that. I'm like, dude, read the fucking room. Like this.
Just watch Peacemaker season 1 and half of season 2. That is Chris.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Like, the dude had an orgy at his house, like, for crying out loud. The dude is not... Peacemaker is a frat boy with a Superman... with a Superman complex.
Yeah.
Like, and the abilities of, like, someone who is powered.
Yeah.
Because of his helmets and stuff like that, and his training from his dad. But he is just down at his bare minimum. He is a frat boy with that kind of intelligence. He doesn't read. He believes everything he reads online.
Yeah.
And he is not looking at paintings or murals.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
And like
he doesn't care
even
about
when
that.
she's questioning him through it all, it's like, you know, did you notice there's no people of color? He's like, oh no, didn't notice. And like that, because I also think that's very indicative of real life. Like white people tend to notice that shit less. You know, like it just tends to be a thing, right? So like that really follows not just his stupidity, but it's like he wouldn't notice it as much as like, you know, ads would, right? She would notice it more, right? So and dude, the way that all built up to where when she's like, I'm gonna go for a walk, it's like, no, God, don't.
It's like I love the line from Judo Master. That's the second most I've ever
my God,
in a swimming pool.
What's the first most you've ever, like 12? I love Judo Master, by the way. I hated him in season 1 because he was just kind of a prick and he was kind of a villain. I mean, he has good taste in snacks, though. I will give him
Flaming
that.
Hot Cheetos.
Yeah, but
the black bag
too.
Flaming
Although, I think they filmed it early enough because they've actually bamboozled it now to where the original Hot Cheetos are now in black bags.
Oh, are they?
So you actually have to really pay attention to the, like that it says extra.
Extra flavor.
Yeah, because I don't want that fucking
mild.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Stuff that would make me go.
Yeah, indeed.
I don't think I've ever had a Flaming Hot Cheeto.
The one thing I will say too about this, I really enjoyed, and I think seeing Lex was like the big indicator for it, was the fucking tone difference here. Like, what did Lex feel like versus what did he look like and feel like in Superman? Like, I think it's just a matter of like what Superman is versus what Peacemaker is. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it was just very, very distinct. Also, Lex got way more fucked up than we thought. He wasn't walking on a cane and shit. He had a broken arm when they were saying taking him to Belle Reve. But like now he's like on a cane and shit, which makes sense. Like, you know, the menace attacked him. So a superpowered menace. But yeah, Vigilante, let's talk about him for a second.
Oh, I love Adrian.
He's the best.
Like MVP of the show, right?
Oh, 100%. For me, yes. Now there's some people who are, oh man, you got to be careful though, because he is like a complete sociopathic killer and shit. Like you shouldn't like whatever. But I'm like, I love him. He's so great, dude. He's such a fun character. And like him and Tim Meadows, Flurry.
Oh yeah,
in that last episode, those two, because it's like the moment the scene cut to those two, I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. These two fucking characters together is just absolutely fucking perfect. Like, just it it's one of those ones I probably wouldn't have thought about, but it's like when we were going towards like Endgame and shit, right? It's like, well, what characters do you want to see like interact with what characters and shit? And I would have never thought of it in season 2 here, but then once that's the second that shot came up, I was like, oh my god, yes,
Right.
And I love the fact that Adrian's bunker ended up paying off too. You know, so I can't do that. It's blood money. Like I just it's
and then
just
they're like,
such
but
him.
if we use it for good,
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah. Okay.
No, it's not even that gets him though. She's like, well, I'm a bigger friend to him than you are because I'm willing to take on a blood curse to help him. And then that's the only thing that actually sparks him because he did.
No, when they founding checkmate with the money is what I'm talking.
Well, yeah, but she'd already they'd already bamboozled.
They kind of already broke the seal on him. Is what they did.
100%.
Yeah.
And but yeah, he's great. I love him so much. The actor that's playing him is fucking incredible.
His Spider-Man memeing with himself
and Spider-Man's canon in the DCU.
Yeah,
that's
apparently.
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed. Expect a crossover any day now. Vigilante and Spider-Man.
You know what? With James Gunn, are you telling me that Disney and Warner Brothers at some point might not realize they basically can fucking just print pallets of money?
They could
if they did a fucking
if they weren't stupid. But the problem is that I don't have very much confidence in the Disney executives.
Money.
Feige, I have confidence in. It's the executives above them.
Money talks, though, man. When Feige comes to them and says, "Hey, we could have like a $3 to $4 billion movie," like nothing's ever surpassed $2.5 billion, I don't think, at this point. So when he could tell them, like, and probably do market research to say, like, especially after DCU builds a little bit further, I think the only thing is I actually think Marvel would be the weakness of there because you've lost all the biggest characters. You wouldn't have Iron Man, you wouldn't have Captain America. Well, the ones that we care about, we might have new versions, but I think it's kind of a weird twist of fates that now we're in a spot where, you know, Marvel's maybe a little bit weaker than DC in the sense that by, you know, here in the next couple of years we're going to see DC unveil their Batman, we're going to get a Wonder Woman, you know, so they're going to have their big hitters.
Aquaman.
And no, not at all. But you know, whereas like, and who knows, with the whole after on the other side of Secret Wars, we might end up with like the next phase of who is the new Tony Stark and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we might have the big characters, but I think that those guys are always going to be in that realm of like, well, you're not Sean Connery. No matter how good of a Bond you are, you're not Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And they're always going to be facing that. You're not Chris Evans. You're not Robert Downey Jr. You know, you're not Chris Hemsworth. Yeah. Like, so.
I mean, Hemsworth is still in it, but.
He won't be on the other side. Yeah. I don't think he will be long term. So, the one thing I want to just, I guess I'll pause just because it sparked in my brain. Yeah. I want to give some credit to James Gunn. So, and we had the whole debate about like, you know, Russo and the Russos versus James, like who's like had the most success. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the whole thing when we talked on the Dark Tower side when it comes to like Darabont versus you know, like Flanagan or whatever, or some of these others. Like Flanagan has like the degree of difficulty. He didn't take ones that were just like ready to be. He took ones that had the most max difficulty level to make. And I think with James Gunn, like to take Guardians of the Galaxy, a D tier Marvel thing, and made them one of the most beloved, if not the most beloved characters in the MCU. Like I would say that if you took them as a team, I think a lot of people take them over even Iron Man, Captain America. Like they're like, I remember it was the Infinity War trailer and the pop from the crowd for the Guardians when they showed up. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I think that's when it truly dawned on me where it's like, this isn't just that they're like popular, like they might be more popular than anybody else in the MCU.
Yeah.
For a bunch of D-list, including a fucking tree and a raccoon, like, you know, and then to go and like revitalize the Suicide Squad after that fucking train wreck that was the first one, you know, to take that and make such a great movie out of it that's then spun off a character that's nobody outside of your hardcore DC fans knew who the fuck Peacemaker was. No, he was a D rate whatever. And I think James has now made him to where he is
a household name. He's a B-list DC hero,
if not A-list, like, you know, outside of the, I mean, not in terms of
A-list is Superman and Batman, and then everyone else is below that.
But again, though, I think that like he's building it to the realm where the A-list is actually bigger than just that. I think James is the perfect guy to take DC because DC has that heavy top and then a lot of unknown below, and with what he's proven now, he is the absolute perfect person to be in charge because he can make, if he can make fucking Chris like the level he has, what's he going to be able to do with, you know, I mean, and then fucking Guy Gardner, for God's sake, like he took
not even Hal Jordan.
No, he exactly. Yeah. Or not John Stewart. He didn't go with like the bigger, like, no, he went with like, let me go with one of the most detested Green Lanterns and put him
Yeah.
in Superman. And like, dude, and maybe it's because I'm an asshole, but I fucking love Guy Gardner.
And then he
dude.
went with Hawk Girl over Wonder Woman,
Yeah,
or Cyborg, or Flash,
yeah.
and it's like, oh, okay.
But it
All
works.
right.
And
works.
Mr. Terrific, dude, Mr. Terrific, I would say already off the where we're at now, I'd put him in the A-list category. And I'm not saying A-list in the terms of like there's just the trinity of DC, and it means they're equal to them. I'm just saying of like, you know, kind of what the MCU did, where it's like Tony Stark, like, yeah, he was always important to the Avengers and stuff, but like in the comics, he's a B-rate hero. Like maybe
they elevated him in the movies.
They elevated him.
And that's what you're saying Gunn is doing with these lesser. They're probably D's or F's in the comics,
and he's
elevating them
to where
Peacemaker's at least a B.
He's
at
a
least a B, maybe even a low A.
Yeah. And again, and maybe even get to the realm where it's like there's S tier that you count for Superman and Batman and stuff, whatever. But like, I think in terms like he's building it to where you've got these characters that were D-rate characters that he's on both sides of the fence now. He's made household names out of.
Yeah.
And like, so who better to rule the DCU than a guy that's been able to do that, proven now across multiple things? Because if it was just Guardians, it'd be like, okay, lightning in a bottle. Call me if you do it a second time.
But
it's like he's now done
Peacemaker.
it multiple times now.
Yeah.
And Mr. Terrific, like, dude, Mr. Terrific stole the show for Superman for a lot of people. Like, and he's incredible. Like, I want. If you were to just give me a whole outline and you allowed me to take away my Superman bias and say across the board, all this stuff, everything you've seen, what do you want next? If it wasn't Superman, because I'm biased, I think Mr. Terrific's number 2 on my list. Like, give me Mr. Terrific more.
Give
of
me
him.
a Mr. Terrific little comedy movie.
Yeah,
where he's dealing with stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%. Like, so yeah, I'm excited for what James Gunn is doing, and I think Peacemaker here. I mean, I think all of these characters too. Just outside of Chris, what about Harcourt, Economos, like all these characters. Like by the end of this whole thing, it's like I realize, like, dude, we love all of these characters the same rate that we loved, Rocket, and we loved whatever Eagly. We love Eagly in the same way, right?
Oh, Eagly being the prime eagle. How about
oh my
that?
God, dude, that was so great. I love Eagly. Like,
I know you do.
He's so fucking great.
Best animal sidekick, I think, is what you said one time.
Oh yeah, I'll take him over old I almost said Astro.
Crypto.
Crypto's
a good boy.
No, he's a menace.
And menaces are good boys.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, my cat's a menace, and he's a good boy.
I don't know. Menaces are menaces. Yeah. Sorry. What else you got? I just wanted to because that sparked my mind of like the idea of like James is like there's no better person to run the DC than him.
I only got two more thoughts really that I want to say. One of them I'm going to say to everyone who doesn't like Peacemaker finale and think that Gunn fumbled and that it's the DCU's done and everything like that. I've seen stuff like that where they're just like, well, that was a nice run. He fucked it. He messed up and everything like that. This is Iron Man 2. Hold on. Just be patient. It's the second thing in the universe. Let's calm down.
Yeah.
We're building something. This is the second foundation piece to be put down. Let's not panic.
And I think the other
thing, don't even panic.
I think the other thing too is he's also standing on the shoulders of the MCU.
Yes.
So the MCU did have to pull some bigger cards earlier because they didn't know it was going to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
But now they've proven the model, so James can be more patient as he's building the DCU,
right.
And he doesn't have to necessarily spend his kings and aces right away.
We haven't seen Batman yet, and that's good.
Yeah, exactly.
I want them to get it right, and that's the thing that I understand. A lot of people had expectations, myself included, for the last episode.
I hyped myself up too, but it didn't take me out of the episode enough to go this was a disappointment because again, because it fulfilled those character beats. I was like, okay, we finally got the resolution on all this. We've got salvation. We've got the checkmate. Like I just feel like they did everything perfect. Where I'm like, oh my God, yes, give me what's next because what's gonna happen?
It felt
here?
like the only thing. And I'll be perfectly honest here. I was a little let down at the end of the last episode after the season finale. I was a little let down because I'm like, well, we're basically back to square one. They're going to be looking for Chris. Like Chris is lost, and they're trying to find him.
But I think they're going to have to rope other people in.
It's a different kind of loss, and we're obviously going to have ramifications of this be outside of Peacemaker.
Yeah,
I get it, but at the same time, it's like. You just perfectly set up checkmate and then took Chris off the board. So what's the point of setting up checkmate if it's not going to play a part? And then I took a step back and I went, well, maybe it is still going to play a part. Maybe that's what's going to make it so that they can find Chris. And so it's just like, that's why I'm saying this to everyone. I'm looking in the camera when I say this. Let's wait.
Yeah, patience.
Patience.
Because again, I don't think he has to necessarily come out guns a-blazing like Feige did with the MCU.
Guns blazing.
Because he understands and he also has seen some of the mistakes the MCU's made where sometimes they've spent their cannons too quick.
Yes.
And then they don't have as much a little bit later, whatever. So he has the lay of the land of the MCU. The MCU's proved what could be done. So he could now come at it in a lot more of a strategic fashion than if James Gunn was put in charge of this 20 years ago. It's a completely different thing, right? Superman and Batman are probably right out of the fucking gate, and those probably went through those. They introduced Wonder Woman and Flash so that they can spread. Like it would be a completely different mentality. But it
would be the Snyderverse.
Yeah, but exactly, and so he's able to understand like what and again with his talent of just taking the fucking lowliest of characters and making them fucking beloved. Like,
I think also a large part of it is that Gunn has also seen the failures of Marvel. As much as you want to call, a multi-billion-dollar franchise a failure.
Oh, yeah.
But there are still lows that come in.
Yeah.
That he recognizes and he can look at and go, okay, let's not do that.
Yeah.
All right, you know what? Secret Wars?
Or
I'm not going to do something like that over here in DC.
Or he's overly basically stated it too, where he's like, I know from my previous experience, which is basically saying Marvel, there's times that movies start going and they don't have good scripts in place yet, and they are rewriting it in the midst of shooting, and he's like, I'm just not doing that.
And that's why the script has to be finalized before it's starting to be
which
made.
is why the Batman 2 is only starting to film here in the next couple months. Like it's not 2 years ago. So and I think that so I think he's learned from everything that's come before him, and I think that's going to help drive everything he's going to be building here. So
I don't really have any other thoughts on Peacemaker aside from that, and then I do have just one little. You sparked something in me that we all had the expectations set up because of what Gunn said.
Yeah,
I'm very curious what's going to happen when I get my wife to watch this, because she doesn't know those.
She won't have that expectation.
She doesn't have that prejudice built in.
Well, unless she heard it on this show when we covered the news. If she would have heard, because we did cover that.
I doubt that she'll remember. Let's be perfectly honest.
Intro. What was your thoughts immediately?
Okay.
What was your thoughts as it progressed? Because I will tell you, very beginning, I'm like, nope, this is not as good as the first one.
Yeah.
But by the end,
you love it.
By the end, it's 100 times better than the first one. 100 fucking times better to my ears.
I liked it. It wasn't as good as the first one, so it was already down a notch. And I will say,
did it grow on you then?
It grew on me a little bit. I never liked it more than season one. I think season one's better. I'm gonna get shit for this. I think that everyone is off their fucking rocker for saying that Peacemaker intros have to have like some abysmal fucking shit before that. Name one episode that did. The whole meme thing where like this intro goes with anything and it's 9/11 or the bombing of Pearl Harbor or like the most heinous shit ever.
There were a couple.
There's not a single one. I went back and watched every fucking episode. There's not a single one where it's like someone gets curb stomped or shot in the head or anything like that. There's not a single one that sets up that way. In all 8 episodes, go watch every single one of them and show me where there's an equivalent to 9/11.
No,
I get it. That's the joke. I get it.
It's overplaying it, but there are some dark shit happening in those cold opens where it's
there's nothing compared to what happens later in the episodes. There's no his dad dying. There's no him killing his alternate self. There's no thing with his brother. None of that stuff happens in the opening. None of that. It's way overdone. It's just like the most heinous shit has to happen before the intro. It's like that doesn't happen.
There's some heinous shit.
No,
not
a single one.
Not like 9/11, but there's some dark shit that happens in those cold opens because it's just like there's
not a single. Most of them are wholesome actually.
No, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Making jokes and stuff like that.
So in terms of his dad, I will say another thing I picked up on is in retrospect, I didn't see it coming necessarily.
Yeah.
But the fact his dad's not a Nazi was insane.
He's actually a pretty good guy.
Which I think that speaks a lot to Augie as a character. So he's just basically like punk rock in the sense that like
Mhm.
whatever is in place, he is going to be against it.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
But here's the thing I caught on to. So the Hitler mural,
Mhm.
what color's he wearing?
Brown?
Some brown, but there's a lot of red in that uniform.
Oh.
A lot more than even just the real Nazi uniforms had. They've spliced in a lot of red there. So what color is Augie's uniform in the season 1? His costume.
Blue?
It's red.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is red.
In season 1.
In season 2, it's white.
What is Keith? What color's his
Red.
uniform? Red. What color is completely devoid from Augie's uniform?
I thought it was white and red.
It's
Is
blue
it?
and white.
It's-
There is not a single
It's
fucking
blue?
There is not a single ounce of fucking red in his uniform in season 2. I noticed that in retrospect where I'm like, oh my God, they've been fucking telegraphing the fact that he's not a Nazi this entire goddamn.
I mean, we would have never seen the picture of Hitler until. then.
No, but I think that was the setup though.
Yeah.
It's like the Hitler mural is a great joke.
You're
but-
100%
but-
right. It's blue, white, and black.
But it establishes the red thing though, so it's like it's a great joke, 100%. Love it. It's probably my favorite joke in the whole fucking season, because it's just so ridiculous.
How did I not notice
Yeah.
that?
Oh, how did I miss that? But I think that it's ultimately about establishing that setup though for like red. So if you're a real fucking eagle eye, I think you could actually latch on. Also, when the Sons of Liberty thing happens,
Yeah.
Augie doesn't show up.
Nope.
Keith shows up to kill them all.
Augie's
And to help,
Augie's
Augie does
nowhere
not.
to be found.
And behind the scenes, he's probably like, "Fuck you! I'm not dealing with that shit." They're more right than the government is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's very obvious when you have a group called Sons of Liberty.
not necessarily, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of bad groups that use
guess
very
I
good
guess
names.
that's true.
So it's kind of like, yeah, there's like the old joke that if a bill in Congress has a really really like patriotic or happy name, it's got the most dismal and deplorable shit in it.
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, I just think that there is the breadcrumbs are there for people to figure out that Augie is not aligned with what's going on. I didn't catch it, even though I was able to catch like the Nazi vibe. I did not catch Augie, and like I actually interpreted like his warmth and happiness in those early episodes as like, well, he would be more happy because he's in his perfect world.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I really think it was great. Robert Patrick did an incredible job in the role playing Augie. What's his name from The Office playing Keith was incredible. I still see a lot of people dawning on them that that's the fucking Pam's first fiance from The Office,
Oh yeah.
because he's so different physically
yeah.
that like I could see why people aren't catching it. But yeah, he was in Brightburn, the horror movie about Superman
yeah.
kid, and James Gunn like produced that, so I don't know if that's how they connected or not, but I just wanted to call out that because, like I said, I think they did a great job of actually laying the foundation there. Also, did you catch in the finale the intro song is, I'm blanking on the name of the band. Did you catch that Harcourt is the fan of that band, not Chris? That second band, the one that
is it
the
really?
intro is. Go watch that concert scene again. Chris is just kind of there. She's the one that's fucking singing along.
Yeah,
she's dancing.
she is.
He's dancing and singing along in the first band.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh shit, she's the fan of and I think I love that song, by the way. Also, is there a bigger kingmaker in the fucking music industry than James Gunn at this
No.
point? Like he did it with the Guardians, all 3 Guardians things, and now with like Superman, he's made a couple hit songs, and then now with these, because that, and I love that song, by the way, and not just the intro, but that song is a fucking catchy ass goddamn song.
It's a very good song. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, and also I love like the Abadayo and Judo Master. You know, maybe our world isn't that much different than this, as much as we'd like to think it is. Like, there's a lot of good stuff in there. I love that Judo Master figured it all out just by reading history books.
Yeah, he just broke into someone's house who's gone and was like,
they had more snacks, and they also had a library, so I read some books, and I love it.
Nazis won World War II. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Lead with that.
Yeah, exactly. They did set up Keith for the future as well.
They didn't kill him. He is very, very much
Very much alive.
A vendetta.
And Argus is opening the door because he has no way to open the doors now.
Yeah.
Like that was all fucked up to where like, whatever. But or I guess if we don't open our world, he'd have no way to getting into our world, right? Because if they have it up into the suitcase thing, like there's no way, whatever. But now they're fucking around with it, so now it's completely wide open for him to.
He could heal up, get his suit, come in and see them fucking around, kill them all, and follow them back to our world.
And maybe with some friends.
And bring the Fourth Reich with him.
Yeah, exactly. Including Ultraman, potentially.
Yeah.
That could be a thing.
Someone called G.I. Robot.
What about the different doors?
Good Lord.
It was episode 7 or was that 8? What episode was that where they were going around?
I think it was 8.
I think it was 8
It was
too.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they would have got it from him at the end of 7. Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, the Candyland.
Good Lord.
I saw it coming. I'm like, James Gunn is just, he is a fucking monster.
Nope.
There is no way. And I even think when the trailer, I don't remember if I mentioned on the show or not, but I remember talking to somebody about it because there was a couple shots in the trailer, in some of the early trailers. The skull one. And I remember telling someone, I'm like, you watch, the Candyland's going to be fucking evil and destructive, and the skull one's going to be nice and happy. That other side, I was half wrong because they just closed the door. They're like, oh, fuck that.
But it could have been.
The Candyland thing, though, there's just no way James wasn't going to. And then, do you actually remember, they actually referenced that early in the season. They were talking about going through the doors. Like, yeah, I remember when you got those little fucking, and they called him a name. And he's like, yeah, and they they
imps or something.
Yeah, the imps. So we had to kill them all, and they came in my cereal or whatever. They exposed like the horniness. They exposed the fact they were dangerous. Like when he's talking to his dad, and they're like reminiscing about whatever, and it's like, I completely missed it. It wasn't until I saw somebody bring it up where they're like, oh yeah, I think it was actually maybe on the official podcast or one of them brought it. Oh yeah, you guys teased that. I'm like, wait, they did? And then once they started talking, I'm like, oh my fucking God, they did.
They did.
So
yeah.
And yeah, how villainous for the Argus stuff. That whole door thing, like seeing
just
these people
sending people in and letting them die.
And all
we lost another one, and they're just like, yay!
Celebrating, laughing, doing lines, drinking, like just.
Dude, that's where I'm just like, man, that's not Flag.
How about Sad Eagly?
Oh,
in the closet.
Oh,
it's down in the hole, up in the
hole.
And it's like makes me wonder: is that what Eagly was like for a couple of years after he got imprisoned the first? Like, that's a bummer to think about.
Yeah. Well, he was with his dad. And he kind of liked his dad.
And then Economos getting the half hug that was great.
Yeah.
I like Economos.
He's so funny. Bird blindness. What the fuck is that?
Or no, Flurry. With the
no. Economos giving him shit for that is what I'm thinking of. It's like that first scene with Economos and Flurry in the truck.
Oh, yeah.
Was so funny. And then like the next episode it carried over, and then they go after Eagly and they get their asses kicked.
Yeah. I was worried about Eagly a couple times in this season.
Yeah, they brought in like a special eagle hunter. And
the eagle hunter, but then even Keith in that bit, I was like, oh God, don't hurt. And I watched a few reactions, and there was a few people like, oh God, don't let Keith hurt, because I was like, that might happen, man. Like the hunter, I was like, that probably isn't gonna. He'll kill Eagly will kill him. But Keith, I'm like, watch that be the fucking like knife in the heart right here as we're getting toward the end of the season. Is fucking Keith grabs and just fucking rips Eagly's head off.
We know that Gunn has a thing for killing animals.
Exactly.
Too,
He's a monster. He is a monster, and he must be stopped. There's a couple of the other Lex Luthor people, Luthor
that
Corp
are released
folks
and everything
in here.
See, dude, it's just like.
And does it seem like they're free later?
Yeah,
because at first they're like, "What am I going to get for it?" Like, nothing. You want me to tell Luthor his boy let him down? So no, I was just asking. And then later, it sure seems like they're free now. That's why there's a flip on what's going on. So yeah, no, I think you're right. I think Lex might have.
Luthor's back there puppeteering some stuff.
Yeah, could very well be.
You got any other final thoughts? I'm about wrapped up for Peacemaker. We can go to our other stuff. What about you?
Let's see. Let me think through here. See what else I've got on see if I got anything on my notes. Yeah, overall, I think I love this season. We haven't talked about Vigilante's mom.
Oh, God. Shut up, Mom.
Dude, there's a lot of people really upset by how he treats her. On the reaction videos and stuff.
There's some shocked by it? Really? What did you expect?
Because I think the thing is like the reason it didn't ever bother me is because I feel like if I'm gonna like quantify Vigilante in a couple words, he's a 14-year-old in an adult body.
Yeah.
And is that not how every 14-year-old treats
their mom?
Exactly. So it's like it never bothered me, but there's some people, and I'm like, I guess it's probably how the people are raised. Not to say I would have been slapped in the fucking mouth if I would have said even half of what he said in one sentence to my mom. But it never bothered me, but yeah, I saw some like things where like that was the most upsetting thing for people in the entire fucking season was how he was talking to his mom. And I'm like,
Wow.
like, yeah, like bad, like to the point where they would just like brace when any scene came up with his mom. Also, James revealed in the behind the scenes that in the alternate world, there was going to be a thought that Economos would be there fucking his mom.
I saw a clip of that.
And that'd be one of his things. Oh, Economos is fucking my mom. And the other tease, too, is like, oh, my dad's not gay here. It's like,
yeah.
Well, we hadn't had the reveal yet, but it's like, well, there's a certain kind of world that would not be not be allowed.
Yeah.
One got out. That's quite a line there.
I don't want to think about where they got out from.
Yeah, I can't. I think in one of the official podcasts they did say it was like camps essentially, which makes sense. But there was part of me that was like, is it going to be like Lex Luthor-ish type shit where they've got like pocket universes that they're like, Lex prisoning type? Who knows? It could have been it. Yeah, but not. Yeah. Great season though. I absolutely adored it. Like I said, I love the first season, but I think the second season topped it for me. I love this season.
Yeah.
Everything about it. And also I would say, I think James may have done better than what the Marvel's done across the board when it comes to multiverse in this season. Because I'm not saying the Marvel's done bad, but I do think there's been some misses where it's just like, is that really all we're doing with multiverse up to this? I mean, I know we got more to come, but up to this, like Multiverse of Madness, great movie. But I think it's just the wrong title because it doesn't feel that multiversy to me. It feels like you're really playing with like two different things, and that's really mostly it. And it's like,
there's like the montage where they go through like all the different ones, but you don't stay there.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly, it's like a montage. So it's like with this though, I feel like James has done a really great job, and it just feel like it got to the point where you're really invested in this other world. You didn't know what was going on, pulled the rug out from under you. Now,
because the other world in Doctor Strange didn't feel like I cared about it.
Yeah,
whatever happened, just as long as Doctor Strange was okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, and again, I'm not shitting on Marvel. I love Marvel, but I do think that James, again, maybe he learned some lessons from what Marvel has done with the multiverse. And there's been some stumbles, and it's not even all Marvel's fault, right? Like, if not for the dude being a fucking scumbag, it would have been a whole different thing. Also, just because I didn't take it down for the notes, but I don't know if you saw the interview with the writer of something Waldron. He was written some of the Avengers stuff, and he was the writer on Kang's Dynasty. And he was actually at one point was pitching the idea that the Young Avengers was going to beat Kang. And then like the whole caveat would be though, is like after he's defeated, they'd like find a note and be like, be nice to him. It's his first day as a Kang. So that would be like the rug pull where it's like, we beat Kang. And it would have been psych. Yeah, it would have been the psych. I'm like, as a troll that just loves trolling people. And you
would have laughed in
dude,
theaters.
I would have lost my mind. I know that's a tangent, but either way. Yeah. And then again, the I can't wait to see what's coming next. The Salvation stuff I'm intrigued by because I feel like that could be like a not multiverse, but that could cross the lines into a lot of different things. This could really be building what we're culminating.
It's just so weird that they're like flags looking for a prison for metahumans and stuff like that when there's like 3, but they're like that's all that we have introduced. So it's like that's what I saw one person say was their complaint. It's like I understand what Salvation is building, and I like the Salvation run. I've read the comics, but you have no build up. Like, that's the problem is that if you're going to put people there, you have to be introduced to them first and be invested in them. If you do that in the next thing that comes up, we're not going to care about these characters. If this is the first time I meet Batman is in Salvation, I'm going to care that it's Batman, but I'm not going to care about this Batman or if there's a Robin with him, So it's like that was the one argument. I'm like, okay, that's actually, I kind of see where they're coming from with that. But again, I don't think that Salvation is necessarily going to be the next thing.
And we don't know for sure. And if it is the next thing, and I think James is smart enough to know he's doing the same thing Feige does. Just taking the title from something doesn't mean you're going to take beat for beat from what the comic does.
Look at Civil War.
Yeah. 100.
There was nothing about registering your powers.
No, or revealing your secret identity.
That's what I meant. Yeah, like
registration was part of it too.
Registration and revealing your secret identity. Like Peter Parker came out as Spider-Man. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah. So
there was none of that.
So I do think that all the pieces are in place. I do think the fact that Lex is still on the board. I know not to say that we didn't think that he was at the end of Superman, but we now know full on that Lex is Lex is still Lex, and if your theory is correct, Lex has got some power. He's in charge of the primary
and no suspicion on him.
No suspicion. Oh, we also got the a cybernetic chick is on the checkmate too. I forgot about her till just now.
Yeah,
because she was like kind of close to him.
She was so put off by Flag that she's like, I'm out.
Yeah, and she's got some connections to Batman in the comics.
Yes, she joins the Bat family.
Yeah, so
I looked her up and I was like, wait, she's connected to Batman?
Yeah,
I must do my research, Alfred.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. Overall, I loved it. I love both seasons. For one that didn't really care for this character in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, James, he's converted me. Because
well done.
Yeah,
well done.
Yeah, and I never. Just John Cena. I haven't seen him in much, but like he's never impressed me much. He didn't impress me in Suicide Squad, but here he should get an Emmy for that scene with that tail end of that
with
scene
Keith.
with killing Keith,
stopping Keith from getting killed.
That's Emmy to me. Like he doesn't get an Emmy, and I know there's a whole bunch of politics with like the fucking award shows, and they got to pay and do campaigns and shit. But it's like genuinely, I've not seen anything, and I don't watch everything by any means either. So, but I think that's Emmy worthy.
I think Cena's done a great job with what he's done with acting and everything like that.
Yeah,
and I think that he's come a long way from the Marine.
Yes. Yeah. That is a thing for sure.
Yeah. I wonder now, because I don't know if anyone watches professional wrestling, Cena has announced that in December he's wrestling his last match. They're having a tournament to decide his last opponent and everything, which is kind of cool. But I wonder if after he retires, if he is going to stop, if he's going to do a pull of Dave Bautista. Because you've seen Batista now, right? Like he is not Drax.
Oh yeah,
he's slimmed
lost
down.
a lot, yeah.
He's lost a lot of weight and
muscle
and stuff like that to not be typecast.
Yeah,
and that's what he said. Is he's like, I don't want to be that guy in every show, and everything. And so I wonder if we're going to see a transformation of Cena where we won't recognize him in 5 years. Be like, God damn, that's the guy that used to go.
Yeah,
wave his hand in front of his face. Like, holy shit. I'm curious about that, but
yeah. For sure.
So that's it for Peacemaker?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I do have my wife joining us now because she hasn't watched Peacemaker. So on to the next, which is...
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't... Oh, okay. We are doing that next. Okay, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure. I wanted to wait. Okay. So I have a challenge for Tad. I was sitting there one night. And have you ever played the game with your friends when you were a teenager or a kid? Fuck, marry, kill?
Yeah. I don't know how you do that with the movies, though.
Keep, remake, delete. Those are your 3 movies. So keep, remake, delete is the name of the challenge. I have 3 films up here. They are 3 of Tad's favorite Jim Carrey films. Keep, remake, delete.
God, remake is
I know.
I mean,
because when you remake, you keep the original. It's not deleting it.
Yeah.
So you're still going. If just for an example, if you remake Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey will not be in it. It will have to be recast. All the people are going to recast. It's set in the modern and everything like that. The original Ace Ventura is still there. But it does have to be remade. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be remade well. You also have to think about that. So I thought that was a nice little...
like the Dumb and Dumber sequels that have all pretty much sucked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Tad? What are we keeping? What are we remaking? And what are we deleting?
I am probably going to surprise you.
Okay.
I will remake Ace Ventura.
Okay.
And I will wait, what was the so I'm keeping the Grinch.
Keeping the Grinch, okay.
And I will delete Liar Liar. As much as I love it, I quote the Grinch way too much to and I quote Liar Liar as well. It's it's great. But I think I would hedge Grinch a little bit higher.
You are shocking my wife right
now. Dude,
now.
the Grinch is so fucking good.
I told her this. I told her this when I came up with this.
And I'm saying it's hard in terms of deleting Liar Liar is brutal. But like remaking Ace Ventura because like for one, it's the first one. My second one
Yep.
will be in place, which is the better of the two.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, cool, just a shitty remake exists. Like, I don't care. But
Yep.
like, also like remaking, like, I feel like Liar Liar, just I would delete it because like you're not going to remake that because there's just no one that's going to be able to do what Jim did. So yeah,
The courtroom scenes.
just
and everything
any
like
of
that.
it. It's all going to
Do
be
you really think anyone's going to be able to do that with Ace Ventura?
no, but it'll just be a shitty remake that I can ignore while I still watch my original and my sequel because the
Okay.
sequel's better anyway.
Okay.
So,
Do you want me to do it as-
Equenchuocha or
Do you want me to do it as well, or this is just this?
so?
is
What did
just,
your wife think I
this
was
is
going to
just
do?
Tad. I don't know what she'll have to tell me. She didn't. We never guessed what you would do. I just told her my idea for the
I
game.
was going to say I shocked her, but I guess any of those three things could have shocked her.
I
But-
will say the name of the game, Keep, Remake, Delete, was entirely my wife's She came up with that. So credit to Lydia for that, for coming up with that. But
Yeah, so that's my
we-
that's my reasoning ultimately is because like
Yeah.
because I can't because if I delete one, I guess I could delete Ace Ventura because the sequel would still exist
Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, would still exist.
in theory because but it depends on what delete meant because if it meant delete entirely.
Ooh, that's an interesting. That's
but
an
again, though,
interesting conversation.
It's like Dumb and Dumber. They've done a shitty ass prequel. They've done some sequel. Like it doesn't affect the fact that
Yeah.
Dumb and Dumber is one of the greatest movies
It's
ever.
still
And
there.
I still enjoy it. So and yeah, Liar Liar. Like I just. Yeah, I love it, but like it really comes. That's kind of the Sophie's choice for me
Yeah.
is like whatever. But I think ultimately the quotability of the Grinch and like outside of
it's also a great holiday movie.
outside
let's
of
be
Jingle All
perfectly
the Way,
honest.
it's probably my favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And Jingle All the Way is the greatest Christmas movie ever made.
Also,
so.
by the way, she says, I really don't like the little Pennywise in the bottom. Because you didn't know what was coming for this segment. I just asked him to grab the movie posters. You could see that he didn't even have the name there. He just had challenge for it. So
Yeah.
this is not the only one that we're doing either. So just to recap, Tad is going to keep Ace Ventura. No, remake Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Delete Liar Liar and keep the
And your
Grinch.
wife's correct. Liar Liar is so good. 100%. I'm not saying that was an easy choice by any means. It just really comes down to I do love The Grinch a lot, and I probably quote it more than I quote Liar Liar.
You quote the Grinch a lot. And when I told my wife that, she's like, what? I'm like, yeah, Tad loves
It's
the
because
Grinch.
I'm green.
That's what I said. Exactly what she can vouch. That's exactly what I said. And then the other one, we started quoting it back and forth to each other. 4 o'clock, solve world hunger, tell no one.
You know, I didn't get that joke as a kid.
Solve world hunger, tell no one.
Yeah, like I
Oh,
thought it was
okay.
like don't tell no one because you're ashamed that you solved it.
Oh,
Not that you're not telling anyone because you would solve it and then not actually allow it to happen. So like
Yeah.
it took me to be an adult to actually like finally like lock in on that and be like, oh, because I thought it was like a shame thing. It's like, oh, behind the,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
he's like,
No, I
yeah.
get where your logic as an idiot kid came from. No, I was kidding. Cure cancer, tell no one.
Yeah, and then like Gesundheit when like
Oh,
Max
yeah, yeah,
sneezes.
Gesundheit.
There's just I love that movie so
It's
much.
gonna blow.
Yeah.
It's this giant explosion from this little car.
That's it. I'm not going.
All right, that's it. I'm not going.
The nerve of those who's inviting me down there.
You're an idiot.
That too. Yeah, dude. There's I 100% quote it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Well, this isn't the only one we got.
Are
We
you?
gotta-
Are you? Did you want to
No,
do?
I
it?
think this is just for you, Tad.
Oh, okay.
This is just a Tad
Dick.
thing.
This
Yep.
could be a recurring thing.
I
though.
think this could be a recurring thing because we could do this with movies, we could do this with TV shows, we could do this with video games as well. I think Keep, Remake, Delete is a great game to play, Tad.
Well, you definitely delete Yoshi, right?
Ooh,
That's what
don't
you-
say that.
that's-
Don't say that in front of my wife.
I'm not saying I would do. I'm saying that's what you would do.
I
right?
would not. Why would I delete Yoshi? Don't throw me under the bus like that. I have to go home and live with her. Don't do that.
You told me for 20 years how much you hate Yoshi.
Tad, don't lie. Don't lie, Tad. Lying is not a good look on you, sir. I have never said a bad word about Yoshi.
You're getting nervous there, sir.
I'm worried about what I'm going to come home to if she believes you. I have never said a bad word about Yoshi.
Oh,
I guess we need to do a little bit better with announcing the movies. Okay, so let's go on to number 2 because there's a few of these.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
So the second trio here is going to be
yeah, for the podcast
for
side.
the podcast
too. Yeah.
side, yeah. The 3 movies that Tad has to decide what to keep, what to remake, and what to delete are Goodfellas, Casino, and Donnie Brasco. And I have a little thing here that Donnie Brasco was a late edition, and I removed a different movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you may have, I don't know what you had before, but it may have been harder because I delete Donnie Brasco without even a question.
Not even a question,
That's not,
okay.
that's not
See,
tough. Like
I couldn't
it's a
remember-
good movie for
I
sure.
could not
but like,
remember how you felt about Donnie Brasco, honestly. and it's one that I still have not watched myself. So that's where it was a little. Originally, I had The Departed.
The Departed, yeah, the other Scorsese, which would have been felt more logical, but like, yeah, probably still.
But I wanted to keep a theme here of these are 90s mobster movies. So let's see. So we're deleting Donnie Brasco.
Yeah.
So now it's
Good,
just a
good
matter
movie,
of
it's fine, but
are we remaking Goodfellas or are we remaking Casino?
So I would I mean, my first impression would be to keep Casino, but honestly, remaking Casino potentially with like a different generation of Vegas, even.
Oh,
Like, I mean, it probably would have to be the same story, kinda, but I don't know. I think I would actually keep Casino because I'm one of the rare types. I think I like Casino more than Goodfellas, and then let him go ahead and make a remake of Goodfellas. I love Goodfellas, but I'd still have that.
I think you could still. I think you could still make a really good movie out of either one of those.
Yeah,
it's just and especially if you got Scorsese again, obviously to do it,
Yeah,
but there's a lot of people that could cut their chops on Goodfellas and Casino. Oh man, that scene in the desert where he just rips into De Niro.
Oh yeah, no,
That's
it's
so good.
It's good. I rewatched Goodfellas a month or so ago.
Okay,
with the idea to then watch Casino. I haven't got around to it yet, but I need to because I adore that movie so much. It's one of my favorites. So
just to recap, we are deleting Donnie Brasco, we are remaking Goodfellas, and we are keeping Casino.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Getting a little bit easier. That one's a little bit easier because of Donnie Brasco.
yeah.
So would it have been harder?
Probably
with
wouldn't have
Departed?
changed.
Departed still.
Yeah, because it's newer than the others.
Yeah.
Like it's great and all, but like yeah, it's the duology there is hard to hard to perish.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. Well, let's go on to the next one. The third of our challenges for Tad here. We have Pulp Fiction, Heat, and Tombstone.
So the film bros are going to want to take my card because I'm deleting Pulp Fiction.
Right off the bat.
I'm not deleting the other two.
There's no way you
Heat's one of the greatest movies ever made, and Tombstone is probably my favorite Western of all time. So
over Unforgiven.
That's the only question is like
I tried to do a Western one where I did Unforgiven, Tombstone, but I had no third Western. I thought about doing True Grit with Jeff Bridges.
That's in the 2000s though.
But that was
you're talking if you wanted 90s.
I'm looking for.
What's the one?
I did have to step out of the 90s for a little bit with How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah,
but
you could have done what's the one with Emilio Estevez? Is it Young Guns?
Young Guns. I knew
90s.
you would have deleted that one. So that's where I didn't want to make it too easy. So I thought a 90s here.
And also like remaking Pulp Fiction would be absolutely insane. Like.
Oh yeah,
because if it's not Tarantino and like it's everything about that movie is perfect. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. But I not more than Heat and Tombstone for me.
For you,
so,
for you. Okay, so which one are we remaking then? Heat or Tombstone?
Probably Tombstone remake.
Okay.
Because like Heat is just. Michael Mann is Michael Mann. Nobody else is going to be able to touch that. De Niro, Pacino. There's a magic there. Like we could see what another director might be able to do with Tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the more adapted things in film history. So like
sure.
What's another one?
It is told differently than most stories with Tombstone.
Yeah, plus there was a lot of chaos with that movie too.
Shooting out the OK Corral is usually the finale.
Yeah.
But in this one it's the midpoint.
And it's white hats and black hats and stuff.
Yeah.
And this one's a lot more gray across the board.
Exactly.
So
okay, so we're remaking Tombstone, deleting Pulp Fiction, and keeping Heat.
Again, there's gonna be some Knives Out for me on the Pulp Fiction.
I'm thoroughly,
and it's tough because like Pulp Fiction, like just gut check. I've never made a list, but if I had to do a top 10 movies of all time, I'm guessing Pulp Fiction would be on there. So
really,
like that, yeah, it's. I mean,
it's still hard, but compared to these other two,
yeah, it really. I think it speaks more to the level of Heat than it does to like anything else. Like,
gotcha.
The Heat is just. It's like almost 3 hours long, but it's one I could sit down and watch at any fucking point. If I
said Ted, let's watch Heat, you'd be like,
oh yeah, anytime, yeah, 100%.
Absolutely,
yeah.
All right.
So we got one more.
I believe so. Let's go. Let me just check my notes.
So this one, yeah,
this one I did on purpose. This is the sequels, except for The Rock. So you got the.
You could have put Predator 2.
This is your actions here. I've heard you say for years that The Rock is one of your all-time favorite action movies.
Yeah.
that Aliens is one of your all-time favorite action movies, and that Terminator 2 is
Oh.
your all-time favorite action movie. So, let's settle the debate, Tad.
Mm.
Who are we keeping, remaking, and deleting here?
Oh man. It's tough. I'd delete The Rock.
Oh, Tad. Oh, deleting Sean Connery's performance in The Rock.
It's a great.
Tad.
It's what it is, man. This is some Sophie's Choice shit here.
My wife says this is the first one where you didn't have an instant delete. You had to think about it for a second at least.
Yeah, but there's just no way you're beating Cameron. You're not beating Cameron. Man.
I see. Michael Bay does not beat James Cameron.
No, but Michael Bay's The Rock is a genius movie.
I know
It's
you
such-
love it.
Such a
I
good
know you
movie.
love it.
Also, the soundtrack loss for all three
You're
would be
bashed.
devastating. That's
Losers whine about their past.
So then remake.
Ooh, Tad, Aliens or Terminator 2? Which one are we remaking?
Yeah, that's like a coin toss because neither is great.
Neither is great.
In terms of it's not neither's a great choice. Like it's not
To be remade.
it's just-
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
like
okay.
I think it just from the perspective of Mount Rushmore, of like keeping Terminator 2 because it's one of my four. It's DNA wise, that's like that's because like ultimately that is just a coin toss. Like I'm not really harming anything, like except for the person that has to try to remake a James Cameron movie. Like
Yeah.
God rest their souls, but like, but for me, it literally is just a complete coin toss. And it would just come down to that. Like, we will go back to that very first episode of this podcast when we did our DNA. I had the 4 Mount Rushmore things, and T2 was one of them. So,
Okay.
yeah, no, that's
surprise. I have one more.
and you know what I'm gonna do, sir?
Yeah. You're going to do it to me?
I'm gonna have to play this with you and make sure Yoshi's on there. So. Although I guess I couldn't do because I don't know how you'd remake Yoshi necessarily.
Yeah,
just make
exactly.
him blue. Blue
I mean,
Yoshi's superior.
There is a blue Yoshi.
Yeah, he's superior too.
Yeah.
I don't think they've actually done a very good job of actually like hitting on that because that was big in that one Mario game. But like I feel like they should have by this point actually given like different names to like the different colors and stuff
Instead of just all being Yoshi.
because you've got like the different princesses, you got like the villainous Luigi, the villainous Mario, you got all this like why haven't they just established like just I'm not gonna say Yishi or something dumb like that, but just get some Japanese names for like the blue one, the yellow, like it just seems like they've missed on that a little bit. So.
All right, so here I got a little.
All I'm saying is I'm gonna build one that's gonna have you sleep on the couch.
I don't know why you're going after my wife versus going after me.
No, I'm just saying because if you end up deleting Yoshi, you'll sleep on the couch. So I'm just gonna get it in a way where you're gonna be sleeping on the couch.
That's Tad's goal after I made him do this. So I got a little bit of a story about this. So I was struggling.
Were you teasing another one though? I don't have any other pictures.
I know. I'm story time. Then we'll get to it. So I texted you yesterday to grab these posters for me and create slides and everything like that. But before that, I was struggling with 2 of them.
Not yet, Lydia.
What?
Not yet.
He has never slept on the couch. Not
like
yet.
Mace Windu. Not
challenge
yet.
accepted. I was struggling a little bit because I had a couple that I had one that was like an 80s. I did like Gremlins, Back to the Future, and Temple of Doom. I didn't think that was that good. I also did like Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street. And I'm like, literally all 3 of those have been remade already.
Yeah.
So like, let's
to different levels of disaster.
So I talked to my wife, and I also reached out to Hayden. Unfortunately, Hayden was late in getting back to me until after I had sent the posters. I explained to him what I was doing, and I present to you Hayden's 3. Empire Strikes Back, Fellowship of the Ring, and Avengers Endgame.
Well, sorry, but Lord of the Rings is going away.
Oh, no!
I'll delete all 3 of them.
Oh, no!
I love Lord of the Rings. I do, but like, dude, I think it's like 2011 since I last watched them.
Yeah.
So that's a long time ago now.
Okay.
That was one thing that I was like, oh, that's almost 10 years ago. But now it's like
Yeah.
much more than that. Nothing against the movies. They don't have the same staying power to me as like Star Wars or some of these other things. So
Still need to rewatch them, I think. But
no, yeah,
okay,
and I plan on it for sure. I've even talked to Hayden about potentially doing like a day long hangout.
just binge all 3 and
Yeah.
cook some good food.
He and his family
have plenty
do
of,
all 6
brewskis.
movies for Thanksgiving, I think.
Oh wow!
Or Christmas. One of their holidays, they actually
with the Hobbit movies.
Yeah.
Too? Oh, okay.
which I've still never seen 2 of those, and I don't care to ever to, honestly. So we're deleting Lord of the Rings.
We're deleting Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
Are we remaking Empire Strikes Back or Avengers Endgame?
Remake Endgame.
Keep Empire Strikes Back.
It's a perfect movie, and like
Okay.
again, now, and I'm not saying that Endgame's not perfect, but like, I think I'm just trying to be nice to the person that has to actually try to remake it, because like trying to remake Empire, like I'd rather somebody just remix the Bible,
Okay.
and that'd probably be less blasphemous than.
I do have a question about this one though.
Yeah.
If I swapped out Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope, would your answer change?
No, because as much as I like to give you shit, ultimately that is the foundational of everything Star
Okay.
Wars. So it's like, yeah, I don't think so.
They would crash and burn if they had to remake Empire Strikes Back, she says.
Yeah, although they could kill Chewie.
I will end you, sir.
Chewie gets thrown off the edge of the,
You're like
carbon freezing.
you're like remake on one condition.
And the last title card will say "Rip Chewie."
And then just a smiley face, and it says, "You're welcome,
Flipping off emoji.
You're welcome, Peter." Even my wife's upset by that. She doesn't want that.
Oh man.
Yeah, I thought this was a fun little game. Honestly, this is in a retaliation for you. What your topic is for next episode.
Ooh. All right.
So I got a little work done on that. Started doing my list for the top.
We'll get to that.
I will not say what the subject is, but I will say that it is a top 10. So Tad gave it to me, and I started working on it a little bit, and I just went, God, this is fucking hard. I hate Tad. I need a way to torture him.
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to see a version of this where someone was asking what is a movie that you just wish never existed? None of its prequels, none of its sequels. It in and of itself, what do you wish was? And I was like,
yeah, because if
if
that's the case, like again, if we played out the delete thing we talked about on the Jim Carrey one, like if that meant like wiping out the sequels, that means like Lord of the Rings. That means that like those movies don't exist. The Hobbits
don't exist. Lord of the Rings. The only thing you have is the cartoon.
Here's
version.
Here's the thing, though. They're going to make it at some point.
They would.
It's an established book. It's very famous.
Yeah.
Now, would it be the same? Probably not. That would have changed our friendship in a smidge, because like that was foundational to us. Like to our generation, it'd be crazy. But like it's kind of one of those things that in that realm, like versus like I guess Empire, like a sequel of Star Wars would have come if I would have deleted it. It's just a matter of like what does it look like? You know what I mean? Like because that's not the root thing. If you swapped out to New Hope, now you're talking the entirety of Star Wars doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So,
I did not do that for delete.
I think we should though.
You think we should
for the case of it, because that kind of gives it the.
Do you want to redo these?
No, I think that going forward, I think that should be kind of the caveat to it, right? Because
if you're deleting it, you're deleting it.
Yeah.
It's the Men in Black flashing out of everyone's.
Like
we're doing this. We're doing the Peter Parker. It never existed kind of thing.
So I think that gets to a point then when you are strategizing doing these, something like Endgame versus say Iron Man, which would delete the entire MCU type thing, right? So that it just adds that strategy level to it. So I'm not saying for these because
I think we could do both. I think that's we could just do like this one here that's on the screen, The Rock, Aliens, and Terminator 2. If you deleted Terminator 2, Terminator would still exist. But if you delete Terminator 2, you delete the whole line, is what you're saying?
Beyond that, not before though.
Not before. So anything after it would be deleted.
And that's just where it comes down to like The Rock still gets deleted because it's just like Aliens, Terminator 2. Those are probably 2 of the greatest sequels of all time.
Yeah.
So
especially
and James Cameron,
especially when you get to Aliens 4.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Alien versus Predator.
Aliens 3?
Is that what you're talking about? Aliens 3 is great.
Aliens 4.
Very, very underrated.
Yeah. Aliens 4 is a good movie too.
Alien versus Predator, is that what you're talking about? Or
No.
Prometheus?
No.
Okay, I got you. All right. Well, I love that my next next episode's topic got you all riled up.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's a hard one.
I haven't taken a deep dive into it yet, but I've had some thoughts for sure. But once I actually start strategizing it it'll probably get a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
So now we're going to hit the news on the rest of the episode here. The first one, confirmed Avengers, well, mostly confirmed. I haven't seen like an actual like Vanity Fair, Hollywood Reporter, but Collider's saying they've got multiple sources confirming that Doomsday's teaser. They're saying trailer, but it's going to be a teaser. You're a year away from the fucking movie. It's not going to be a goddamn trailer.
No.
And like,
well, it's a teaser trailer.
I'm sorry. With let me finish off by saying with Avatar, because I didn't finish the statement.
Avatar 3.
Fire and Ash. So that's coming out in December, which means it will have basically kind of like the Force Awakens. We had that teaser on Black Friday, which is a year and a month away from the actual release of the film.
Yep.
And that's why, and I guess we saw a lot in that though. I mean, a lot, quote unquote, but because here's my suspicion. I don't know how much we're going to see because I don't know what they actually need to show us. This, you know what I mean? Like, are we going to see Robert Downey Jr. in costume? Are we going to see him without a mask? Are we going to see him at all?
See him sitting on a throne
as a shadowy. I just, they're so established at this point. The name Avengers, like, I'm just not getting my hopes up, dude. Because watch it just be a fucking title card that says, you know, Avengers Doomsday coming. They literally don't have to show us anything. So I'm not going to hold my breath that we're going to see Charles Xavier in the yellow chair, which we've already seen. But like, I'm not getting my hopes up that we're going to like, I don't know.
Literally, it's just going to be Doctor Strange having a breakfast bagel, and then he's going to look up, and then it's going to say Avengers Doomsday. That's all it's going to be. That's all it's going to be.
They can get away with it.
Yeah.
The name Avengers has got more cachet than almost anything in Hollywood right now.
Yeah.
It would be my ass. Like I would state that. Like I would say it's greater than Star Wars right now at this point. You know, you could argue maybe a couple names like Tarantino or Nolan, but like I think the Avengers name carries enough cachet that like literally all you could have is a thing that comes up and says Avengers, Doomsday, coming December 2026. That's all you need to do. So I'm just not holding my breath because like my first thought when I read this was like
it plays the Doomsday theme. Like they have a theme made for it already.
Yeah.
It plays that and that's it. And then it just shows the Doomsday turning around and looking at the camera with the mask on. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole trailer.
Yeah, but the reason I'm apprehensive is because like think about how we never really saw Galactus until the movie. They hid
his foot, his shadow. That's it.
Yeah, the back thing. Like you never actually saw the full reveal of him. So I'm just like, are they going to do that for Doom? I just don't know because maybe Doom's too big of a thing that you want to show that off. It's also your marketability of it's Robert Downey Jr. for fuck's sake.
You're paying him like $1 billion to be in it. Why not use him?
Yeah, 100%. So I'm just a little bit careful of. I don't want to get my hopes up for like hoping for like we're going to see the whole fucking X-Men in their classic uniforms. On the other side, we're going to see whatever Avengers, and we're going to see Doom in the background. I'm not getting my hopes up for that because
you just see Wolverine getting out of the shower, drying off, and putting on his costume, and that's it. It's just like, God damn it.
Yeah, I'm excited though. Like I was going to be there anyway. I mean, again, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Never bet against James Cameron. So, and I've enjoyed all the Avatar movies.
Yeah,
like that. I have. So. Let's see what we got next. Next up, this has been confirmed. Lanterns is not coming before Supergirl.
Okay.
Because that was originally supposed to be coming out early next year. With Supergirl in the summer, I believe. But it's now Hollywood Reporter had a recap thing on Peacemaker season 2. In that they mentioned that the next time we're going to see the Gunn's DC universe in any way will be Supergirl. And some folks reached out about Lanterns and had it confirmed. Indeed, it is most likely not coming before Supergirl. So I don't know if that's an issue with like actually making it or whatever, if they have to do some more reshoots or whatever, because again, I think a lot of people are actually assuming that we'd probably be seeing Lanterns in like the first part of next year, the first quarter.
Okay.
So it's kind of a bummer because I'm excited for, see more Guy Gardner, as well as be introduced to Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, I think is in it. If I remember right, I think they're playing older.
Think so, yeah.
But he's playing older, right? It's an older actor playing him.
I think that's what they said.
Like a guy in his 50s, not necessarily a guy in his 20s type thing. So I'm excited for Lanterns a lot.
He's been around the block.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of the Hank Pym. You didn't get prime Hank Pym. They made him the older man, and they used Scott Lang as the Ant-Man type thing. So so that's I don't know. So I guess Supergirl's our next thing. So I don't know what I'm excited for it. I can't wait. I mean, but I'm a little bit bummed that this is, I don't know if the rug's been pulled a little bit. I thought we had at least one more thing to step on before we got over to Supergirl and stuff. So All right. Next up, it is now it's been announced that John Williams is going to be returning to score Spielberg's new UFO movie. That's
cool.
being worked on. So it's been confirmed. Also, it is going to be their 30th collaboration together.
Wow. Has there really been that many?
Yeah. Dude, there's I think there's less than 5 Spielberg movies that don't have Williams scoring it. Like fewer than 5. And usually it's like, oh, John, hey, I want you to do this movie. Sorry, man. George has me hired right now for Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty ubiquitous. So, pretty excited. A dude in his mid-90s. I think we should be blessed to count whatever we get from John. I'm also really excited for Spielberg doing a UFO movie because that's like classic vintage Close Encounters type stuff.
I need to watch Close Encounters. I've never seen it.
We haven't seen. I feel like Spielberg's been more in like a lot more of the real world. A lot, you know. He did like the one that was kind of autobiographical. He was doing like Bridge of Spies. Like I feel like, and not to say he hasn't done some fantastical movies.
Didn't he do a giant movie a few years back?
10, 15 years ago, something like that. It's been a while, but yeah, there's been some. But I just feel like Spielberg's been a lot more rooted in reality the last 25, 30 years for more of his movies than not. So just going back to like full on sci-fi, like fuck yeah, let's do it, man.
Right.
I mean, he did a Minority Report, and I'm not saying that he hasn't done crazy shit. But I mean, Close Encounters is great. Yeah, you should really give it a watch. It's a great movie. I don't know if it's streaming or not, but I know I have a copy or two, maybe one.
Really?
I don't know. Next up, this one is probably more exciting for you than me, but The Mummy 4 has been confirmed in the works with both Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz both returning, with the director of Ready or Not set to helm the film. So that's pretty cool. That was a fun horror movie. So yeah,
I did see that one. I'm very excited for that.
I figured you would be.
I
don't know if I've watched anything past the first one. I remember elements of the first one. The second one, I don't know.
You watched the second one. It's the one that had the rock.
I thought that was the third one.
No, it's the second one.
What the fuck's the third one then?
The third one is.
So I've not seen the third one at all. I didn't even know it existed.
The third one's where he has a kid. Is that the second one?
Because the Scorpion King doesn't count.
That's the second one.
No, there's a movie, the Scorpion King.
So but the Scorpion King is introduced in the second movie. So.
But that doesn't count. So there is a third one out that with like Brendan Fraser and shit.
Yes,
so,
and then there's a fourth one with him as well.
No, this is the fourth one.
Oh, the fourth one. Oh, so the third one's with him and they go to China. And they deal with oh god, is it shit, what's his name? He's in Lethal Weapon 4. Jet Li or something like that.
I have not
3.
Yeah, the fact that it said 4 kind of threw me off because I'm like, wait, what were the other 3? I remember there was a second one.
Yeah, Jet Li is his name. He's in Lethal Weapon 4. Yeah.
I mean,
that one.
You're probably the only person on the planet that would think of Jet Li as the guy from Lethal Weapon 4. So.
I know. Yeah, that's where they didn't even have Rachel for that movie. They recast her.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Did they recast her, or was she just not in it?
I think this will be fun. It'll be a good, nostalgia kick for the millennials for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Brendan Fraser having a resurgence is warming my soul.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, The Mummy: Tomb of the Dragon Emperor is what it's called. It came out in 2008.
Okay. And then I let me see. I'm trying to pull up a poster that I thought I had. Oops, that's not the right thing to click. That was a video. That's a video too. God damn thing. I had it open to actually look at for the like screen grab thing that we have now, but I guess I accidentally closed it. All right, so now I've got it ready. So let me go ahead and I'm sorry, did I miss one? I did.
Oh, my wife looked it up. They did recast Rachel's character in that.
Okay, so I also missed Gremlins 3. Yeah, I missed that too somehow.
Yeah.
I accidentally skipped the slide. So Gremlins 3 has now been confirmed coming with Christopher Columbus coming back to direct.
That's awesome.
During the earnings call for Warner Brothers, they confirmed that Chris Columbus is set to direct and produce the third film with in the Gremlins franchise, and Spielberg will be executive producing through his Amblin Entertainment banner. So
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, with Warner Brothers being up for sale.
That's been a long time since the last. That was like 1990, 1991 since the last Gremlins movie.
There was
Because the
Gremlins-
original was in the 80s, and then
wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
I think the
80s,
second
wasn't
one
it?
crossed into like 1991. Is kind of my vague. I don't own those movies. I don't think so. Like the date's not solid in my head, like it is for a lot of movies.
1990.
1990. Okay, same
The
year.
new
as,
batch.
Same year as old Pennywise.
The year my wife was born.
It's the year that Tim Curry's Pennywise It movie came out.
Indeed.
Let's see. So yeah, let me go ahead and hit the next one here. So the next one they've confirmed the title for the next Godzilla movie, and it is Godzilla -0. It is the sequel to -1.
Yeah, so clarify that, because there's two different Godzilla universes going right now.
Yeah.
There's the monster, there's like the big one with like King Kong and everything like that.
Yeah.
This
So-
is the -1 universe.
Yeah, this is the sequel to -1. So let me just go ahead and pull up on the screen there. There is the graphic for it. It's very simple, but very stylistic in the sense of Godzilla. I am not the connoisseur of Godzilla like say Hayden is. Hayden, his brother, that kind of thing. But I will say of all the Godzilla movies I've seen, -1 is far and away my favorite because it actually had a really good story going with it.
There's nothing on screen.
What?
There's nothing on screen.
Well, yeah, I just put it off the screen.
It was never on screen.
I
I haven't seen the Godzilla thing.
I should be on there.
There it is. Now I see it.
Yeah. So there's
Okay.
there's the
Yeah,
graphic for it.
-0 is interesting. So
Yeah.
-1, -0.
Yeah. And it's funny because we were just talking about countdown shit yesterday. I don't think it has a sense of that because it's -0 because you've seen it. It's like it's right after the World War II and like literally
Yeah.
everything is so fucking destroyed in the entire country that like it's not even 0. You're below 0.
Yeah.
So I think this is like an evolution where it's like, okay, you're now somewhat rebuilt, whatever. You're not. Yeah, because
Well, I mean, that's how you go up from -1, right? Is you go from
Wait.
-1 to 0.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm not sure how people are interpreting it, but in my mind, it kind of makes sense of like, yeah, kind of, like you've now have like a year to rebuild on top of like whatever's going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty excited for that though, because I really loved -1. And then let's see what else we got here. The only other one I've got is King of the Hill has been renewed for 2 more seasons.
Excellent.
And that, just to be clear, is on top. Oh, I'm sorry, and also on Godzilla -1. Just as if there's any doubt, Takeshi Yamakaze is returning to direct. So the guy that did the first one. So
Okay,
that's the key for me. But yeah, with King of the Hill, don't lose the fact that season 15 is airing next year. This 2 seasons is on top of that. So we've got 3 more seasons of King of the Hill at least coming from Hulu.
Nice.
So had 1 season. Season 15 is next year, and then we're going to get 16 and 17 that they've just greenlit to order more.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. Sounds like they are sticking to 10 episodes, which is a bummer. I'm not necessarily counting on 22, but like, with this whole thing, they're like, Hulu put in an order for 20 more episodes of King of the Hill for 2 more seasons. I'm like, do more than 10, man. It's a fucking cartoon, for Christ's sake. It's not like I get like the modern day. Again, I'm not hoping for 22, but like, give me 15.
Yeah.
Give me 12, something. Just 10 is like, 10 feels like prestige, like drama type
Man,
count.
those are
And like,
dropped down to 8 now, it seems like. Look
in
at,
some cases they have,
we were
yeah.
just talking about Peacemaker earlier. It's 8 episodes. So
Yeah, I think prestige is definitely 8 to 10. That's pretty standard. But yeah, there's part of me that's like, for an animated show, dude, like, not saying it's easy, but it's way easier to do an animated show and do a bunch of voice actors doing voices than it is to like shoot Stranger Things or whatever.
It's
So
also really hard to do a season of voice acting and then get them back to do a second season
yeah,
if you're only doing 10 episodes.
yeah. So they probably honestly they probably filmed the first 2 seasons together, and then now which is this year's and and next year's, and they're basically ordering this to where they're now going to do like their whole production that's going to be those 2 seasons. They'll probably bring the cast in for one time to
But they split it into 2 to make more money.
I mean, to an extent, but like, that's just the way animation works, right? Like that's the reason that like when Clone Wars got canceled, they had the Lost Missions. It was half this fucking season because they're already halfway through developing that season when it got canceled, because that's just how animation works. So and that is it for the news. Let's go ahead and go over to the next time on to get the tease that Peter threw out there of why he was mad at me and wanted to throw some hurt on me.
Watch Ted delete some pretty good movies. I can't believe you, monster. Why would you why would you delete Liar Liar? That's pretty messed up, dude.
Because the Grinch, sir.
That's messed up.
Yeah. It's because he's not green. That's why he gets deleted.
You just hate lawyers, is what it is.
Liar Liar's great, dude. It really is. It's. I used to always call that the end of the peak of Jim Carrey. Like, you had like that stretch where it was like Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, Ace Ventura 2.
I should have put
And
the mask on there.
Liar Liar is like 97. That's like kind of the end of the peak. There's a couple other movies that came later that were fine, but none of them matched that fucking 5 or 6 film run that he did, where it was just like it was gold after gold after gold. It was just like,
except How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah, that's the kind of the exception. It pops out a few years later, but like, yeah, there was the golden era for sure. And I've long called the Liar Liar the end of that, because it was just, it felt like he could never miss. And like suddenly after Liar Liar, it was like there was more of his movies that came out where you were like, it's all right. Bruce Almighty, it's like
Me, Myself, and Irene.
Me, Myself, and Irene. He started doing some of the serious or more serious shit. It's like, he did a Batman movie in there. So I think that may have actually been during the peak.
That was in the 90s, yeah.
Was it? What year was it though? Was it in the middle of the?
That's Batman Forever, right?
Yeah, Batman Forever, because it was
95.
91 to 97 is like the. So it technically there's a Batman movie mixed in there. Although that was not nearly as bad as the sequel to
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin is pretty fucking deplorable. But yeah, next time on. It's a top 10 list. Peter kind of teased me that we hadn't done a top 10 in a bit, so I decided to come up with one, and one hit me. So the challenge is top 10 actors that you can keep for the rest of your life, and that's all
their movies.
You get to watch all of their movies, but nothing else. So it's kind of a strategy of a matter of like, you got to build your top 10 list.
Yep.
And if there's a movie that you love that has none of those 10 people, you cannot watch it ever again. So
mean.
I feel like this is a strategy one more so than a ranking. But it is and we also did the one caveat: cameos do not count. So Stan Lee, it cannot be used to basically get most of the MCU. That's cheating because it's a cameo. Now, if you want to say
he has a named character, sir.
If you want to say Nick Fury as Samuel L. Jackson and get a good chunk of Marvel movies, that's fair.
Stan Lee has a named character.
He's a cameo character.
He has a named character, and he is credited as such.
He's a cameo.
How dare you?
He's a cameo.
And you know what? Just because I haven't pushed it.
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
One of these days, sir.
You're not deleting it.
One of these days.
You're not deleting it.
That's what it's going to be, is delete your button.
You delete that button, I make you do a top 10 movies of all time list.
You keep threatening that. That is like is that just your bully stick now?
That is my nuclear deterrent, is what I have. That's all I have, Tad. I can't scare you. I can't threaten you with much else, but you've always told me to hold on.
Go to hell, Powers.
Whenever I say come up with a top 10 movies of all time list.
Yeah, I told you if you want to break it up into genres, this is what we've done for the most part.
All time.
Now, you
top 10 all time.
You can't compare oranges and apples.
I'm telling you.
Or one of my favorite lines from The Sopranos, because they're all just like uneducated fucking idiots.
Yeah.
And there's one where they're debating something and they bring something up as an example. He's like, apples and bowling balls. Like, that's like the comparison of like they don't compare. So like I should actually start saying that instead of apples and oranges, because it's way more hilarious. Yeah. But yeah,
look,
so just to be clear, no cameos, top 10 actors that you have for the rest of your life for movies. Because I'm not that villainous, because I said I could have made it TV as well. That would have been really dastardly.
That's I wouldn't do it. I'd put my foot down and be like, Tad, that's too far.
But yeah, I think cameos as well. Again, I'm cutting that out just because, like, mostly because of Stan Lee, because that is just cheating. That kind of deflates some of the challenge, because you're able to basically retain almost the entirety of the MCU, except for the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah, is probably all that you would lose. So, yeah. That's it's gonna be fun, because I've even been thinking in my head, I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna what's my strategy? I'm gonna have to look at movies I absolutely would not want to live without. The great thing is you can just say Anthony Daniels, and
I already have him on my list.
You basically pull in everything except for, God, there's one Solo is the only.
In Solo.
No, he's in Rogue One.
He's in Solo.
I don't think he's in Solo.
He's in Solo. He plays a different character. He's in Solo.
Look
it up. Google Anthony Daniels. Is Anthony Daniels in Solo right now?
I don't know.
Pull it up. He is in Solo.
The tragedy here is Ben Quadraneros doesn't count.
It's not an actor.
I know. We should be able to pick him, though.
No.
Because he's the best.
No, he's not.
He's the best.
Hayden's not here. Stop it.
You've thumbs down some of my Ben Quadraro stuff.
Yeah, because it's getting a bit much, Serge. He's really back in.
No way, he's the best.
Really
So yeah, that's the next episode. I don't have it put into YouTube yet. I meant to do that. I just haven't got around to it. So the whole reveal here has ended up being more of a surprise than I expected. And then that has us going with Harry Potter 5 for the first episode of December, and then our look ahead for 2026 in December as well. And then, then we have to figure out what the fuck we're going to do with both Dune and Avatar coming out at the end of December, which means our whole review might have to be bumped till the second episode of January. Because that's maybe what we have to do is we might have to just flip it and trump it. Because I assume Avatar, Doomsday trailer, and Dune 3, there's probably some discussion to be had there.
No. No.
Or wait, maybe that could actually be part of the look back.
The look back, yeah. I mean, they're 2025 movies.
Yeah, so maybe we'll, either way, that's the rest of the year though for what we have for the topics. We are solid, and we do have some stuff trickling in for season 4, which is 2026. So we have our favorite stuff, geeky stuff 2025, Mortal Kombat, and then Better Call Saul is going to get plugged in there too, as well as we have a couple other Harry Potters to throw on there too.
We'll have 3 more Harry Potters after this one.
Yeah, and we got to figure out breeding too, how that's going to work, because now there's a new version of Harry Potter books that are coming out for audiobooks.
Yes. So. Oh, you said reading. I thought you said breeding. I was like, Tad.
No,
what?
Reading. You plotted out the movies and stuff, but reading wise is still kind of up in the air of how we're going to do that. So
it is a matter.
I don't know if we necessarily want to fill out like a full episode for a book, because that would be like 7 other episodes of the next year. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying we can do that. I'm just saying that's.
It's just
that's
I might, you know what I might do is I honestly might just have you listen to the series, and when you're done at your pace, we'll have a discussion about it and let you just write notes down and be like, okay, in this book, I see what you were saying about how this character acted differently, or holy fuck, they didn't even have this character in the movie, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
all
that's
right.
probably what I'm thinking with the books is just. I don't think we're going to need to do like deep dives.
Full episode deep dives. No. That's what I was thinking. That's probably overkill. I'm not. It's your episodes. Do whatever you want. But that probably seems like
the movies are. It's your first time introduction into the Harry Potter universe, so it's kind of like that's why it's special for us.
Plus, there's a video game too.
Gee, there is a video game.
Plus, isn't there a quiz or something to tell me
which house you're in? We will be doing that after the 8th movie.
Okay, because as I say, I know you didn't want me to do it until a certain point, so
we're gonna do it after the 8th movie. I'm gonna.
So is Voldemort got a house?
Yeah, Slytherin.
Oh, he was part of that. So they're even cooler then.
Yeah, they say that no dark wizard is in any house.
And Alan Rickman,
Slytherin.
right? Alan Rickman's there too.
He's the head of Slytherin house. That's Snape.
Well, let's just hope.
You're gonna be Ted. You're gonna be in Slytherin. I hate to break it to you. You're gonna be in Slytherin. Spoiler alert.
Well, snakes are cool. They're fun, especially certain snakes that we love on the other show,
like the ones that look at you and turn you into and kill you.
I love that snake in Robin Hood. That snake is one of my favorite characters in Disney.
Oh, really?
I love it.
The
dude.
Animated.
Yeah.
You mean the snake from fucking Jungle Book that they just recycled?
He's way better in Robin Hood though. They do that all the time though.
Yeah.
The bear and the one thing is the
Baloo is the bear.
Is it Little John?
He's Little John in Robin Hood. Yeah.
Disney's. Hey,
look at what they've done to my boy.
Yeah.
I fucking love Baloo, dude. It's my spirit animal.
Yeah. All right. So with that, I will.
My wife says if Tad gets anything other than Slytherin, then the quiz is rigged.
Yeah. If I get the Puff one, that's going to be
Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You hate that one so much.
Just reminds me. It sounds like a Pokemon. Fucking detestable shit.
Well, I mean, there is a Pokemon named Jigglypuff, so.
That's the dumb pink one, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's like the Kmart Kirby.
Yes.
Yeah, it's detestable shit.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll sign off as I always do by saying, almost said the wrong thing there. Love what you love. Let your geek flag fly high, and to hell with anyone that says anything to you about guilty pleasures.
I only kill bad people.
I love Vigilante.
Vigilante's the best.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.